Yeah, Prophet Marshall Occurrence. New chapter, new day, new time. Everything going good in this war. This time, it's a new chapter. Quickly. I just had a new chapter and I got another new chapter. See, that's how God do it. When God is on your side, your chapters are quicker. Your chapters close quicker. Now, it's another new chapter for me because I'm about to be moving out of this Brooklyn neighborhood that they put against me on purpose. They put me in this neighborhood on purpose, and it's no secret. So I'm going to be moving soon, but keep me in your prayers. Probably not too much longer. I'm going to be moving on because I know this neighborhood is definitely a neighborhood that they're using on purpose. So it's nothing. We see what I learned in spiritual warfare is I don't have to be a specific place to get this job done. I'm not stuck on any particular location. And that's how you got to be in the last days, where you're not stuck on any particular location. You know, more than anything, these people going to be obsessing over us, right? Like, because we're in their vicinity. But we don't obsess over any particular environment. Like, we got to be there, or we don't cherish any environment in America no more. That's the best way to put it. So we don't cherish any particular environment, which means when it's time to move on, we move on. You know, and when God gives you the power to move on, listen, ain't nothing gonna be able to stop you. Nothing. So for me, I am grateful that I got my walking papers, so to speak, where now I could just move on and we could just finish this war somewhere else. We don't have to be here. And we're not going to let people play with us over and over like it's a video game. This is not no video game. I'm not Mario, and I'm not Mickey Mouse, and I'm not any other character. And if you think that shows what level of thinking your mind is on. You know, that shows you what level your mind is on. Okay, so we winning. We winning this war. And this video basically is going to be the beginning of a new chapter where I'm no longer talking about the culture, these rappers, music history, the American history. It's no need to talk about it. I'm one of the first people that's just going to go ahead and graduate talking about America. It's no need to talk about it. It's over. It's over. It's no need to talk about it. So, with that being said, we're just preparing for the return of the Lord. We're preparing for the rapture. We're preparing for America to be defeated, and we're not playing any games with people that think we're at their mercy and we can just play their little games. And no, you can think what you want to think, and as long as you know that I'm armed, as long as you know I'm an armed man, then you're gonna listen. Then you're gonna take a coward's precaution, right? And that's all you're gonna do. You're gonna take a coward's precaution, because you know I'm an armed man, and we don't care what you think about what we thinking, or any of that psychological stuff. That's all dead. As of today, March 22nd, 2026, all psychological stuff is dead. We don't care nothing about that. We're focusing on the real war, the real world. See, this is how you defeat them people. Because as long as you care about what's on your mind, I don't care. It don't mean I'm guilty. I just stop caring about it. You know what I'm saying? You just stop caring about it and you just move forward, because they're trying to put stuff on your mind anyway. Okay, so then how much care can you give to it? You know what your thought process is. You know you don't let your mind go thinking some crazy stuff. So, okay, so that's over. You end that chapter. You don't obsess about it. You don't worry about it. You don't worry about it. Even if you have a funny thought, you don't worry about it. God ain't gonna let them people kill you because you have a funny thought. That's how you take back your power. God ain't let nobody touch you because you had some crazy thoughts. So what? It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? That's how you take back your power from these white Americans and these black Americans and everybody in between. You don't care. Okay? You already know that you're a righteous person. You don't need to prove nothing to nobody. You know what I'm saying? You see what I mean? You already know that. So and ultimately, if you don't know that, you know your actions, don't you? Okay, so you know your actions. So We ain't wasting no more time. Because, see, that's the only thing they can do. They can't do nothing else. They weak. Don't you see it? All they can do is psychological games. That's all they can do. They weak, man. The Americans are weak. We got them. We finally got them. You know what I'm saying? They weak. We smell blood. The best thing you can do is children stuff over and over again. We don't care nothing about that no more. That's all they can do. We smell blood. They weak. They weak right now. Make no mistake about it. Don't go by Trump. Don't go by none of this stuff. The Americans who oppose Christians are weak. They're weaker than ever before. And that's all you need to know moving forward. We ain't think about nothing what they talking about. We ain't their friends. We ain't their heroes. We ain't your friend. We ain't your hero. Okay? And we're God's people. And that's how it's supposed to be in these last days. We God's people. And we're not with the police. We're not with no authorities. We're not with the military. We don't move with nobody. How you need to hear it. Us as Christians do not accept nobody in our community that's not Christian. That's how tight we got it. We don't got nobody over here that's not Christians is with us. It's that simple. If they not living for God, we don't accept them over here. If they not suffering for Jesus, then that they not officially with us. Now, people might want to help us and might want to assist us and things like that and feel the way they feel. We can't do nothing about that. But we don't have any. We're not paying no attention to people that are not following Jesus, because that's all we really can trust. All we really can trust is those who follow Jesus, man. If they don't follow Jesus, man, I'm gonna tell you the greatest deception is thinking that people being cool is good and all of that. That's not what we going by. We going by those who follow Jesus, man. That's it. It's not meaning you got to be a jerk, but we don't offer any alliance, understandably, to anybody that don't follow Jesus. Especially with me, it's understandable that I don't follow behind anybody that or offer alliance to anybody that don't follow Jesus. That's it. That's all it is to it. We don't follow behind nobody that don't follow Jesus. And if you think I'm a punk and you think that psychological stuff is a game that I care about, then test your luck. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do, buddy. I'm in the real world. All you got to do is approach me talking about something, whatever you're talking about. And I'm going to be an armed man every time you see me, most of the times. And that's it. That's all, buddy. That's how you beat it. That's how you take back your full power. We don't care nothing about what they talking about. We don't care nothing about what they talk about. Because, see, that reduce you down to a coward or a chump where you care about what... Think about it. Where you're obsessing and caring about what these people think. About you thinking stuff. You know what I'm saying? You're a grown man. I don't care nothing about what they thinking about what I'm thinking about. What's in my mind. Come challenge that and see what happens to you. That's all. That's all you got to do. Other than that, we ain't losing no sleep. We ain't obsessing over. We don't care about it. That's the new chapter. We care nothing about what you think that we thinking about. Where you think we thinking about children or something sexually. Any of that foolishness. I'm addressing it as a prophet. That's what they doing. That's what they using. And I have no problem with outing what they're using as a weapon. Is these children. Okay, so I don't have. Listen. I know I'm guarded properly in my mind. I know you ain't gonna get nothing through with my mind. And if you do, it ain't nothing gonna stop. This ain't gonna stop. That's how you gotta be. If they win, we don't stop. It's not gonna stop. And that's the bottom line. It's not gonna stop. As long as you in reality, man, listen, that's gonna be apparently clear, man. This ain't stopping. This is how you shut them down, bro. Like we ain't in no cartoon world. We ain't on cartoon time. They ain't on demon time. They on cartoon time, bro. We do not acknowledge that. We don't care nothing about it. That's how we rocking. We don't care nothing about that. You don't care nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? They can think they won, so what? You ain't gonna win in the real world. They ain't gonna win in the real world we live in. And that's that. That's all I'm talking about. That's all I ever been talking about. That's why people get it mixed up. Me being spiritual, you know, I don't let my mind go into La La World and Cloud Nine. I don't care nothing about that stuff. I don't care nothing about it. I know where my mind is at. I know I'm guarded properly, and you just jealous because we on top. See, they jealous for stupid reasons. They jealous because we are spiritual, more spiritual than them. They're jealous because I'm more spiritual than them. I'm more powerful spiritually than them. I don't even care about that. I just show my rank like I'm in the military. That's what I'm supposed to do. I know them people are way beneath what we do. That's all. But other than that, just, you know, worried about thinking about who we are. I'm not that type of person. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about who God is. I'm thinking about what He doing. I'm thinking about Jesus. That's what we think about. We ain't worried about sex no more. I ain't worried about sex. I'm not worried. No, listen. I haven't had sex in over a year. So what you're supposed to do, I'm going to tell you what you're supposed to do when you're single. When you're single, close the door of thinking about sex, period. That's what keep you masturbating, keep you getting into pornography. Close the door with thinking about sex, period. We're going to show these bastards that we ain't thinking about sex at all, which means we ain't thinking about sex with no woman or a grown adult woman at all. We ain't thinking about that at all, buddy. We ain't even thinking about that. How about that? And see, then you go to another level of spirituality. Now when you let it go, when you let the idea of sex go and you just go free, because people going to tell you, this is how the devil going to come to you. He going to act like you losing your mind because you ain't with no woman no more. He going to act like you must be crazy because you ain't attracting women, or you don't want a woman, either one or the other. You know, nah, it ain't that. It's you a righteous person. You know what it is. It's something they don't understand. You are a righteous man or a righteous woman. Now it's time to close the door to sex completely. It's time to close the door to sex completely. Okay? Well, we ain't thinking about sex at all. And I ain't just started yesterday. I just told you. I haven't had sex in a year. Oh, I had opportunity. I had opportunity. Oh, a person like me could create opportunities. Okay? And that's what I'm saying. So I have not created opportunities to have sex. And I have not had sex. Even when I had an opportunity, I didn't have sex. I didn't let nobody touch me. When a person tried to touch me sexually, I didn't let it happen. Okay, so I haven't. So it's not just a year of me not having sex and I didn't have any opportunity. I had opportunity and I still haven't had sex. Okay, so that being said, cause this is one of the main reasons why. First, we love God. We want to get to heaven. That's foundation. And then after that foundation, we want to be effective in spiritual war. We want to be effective in spiritual war. Because you're not going to be effective in spiritual war if you out here fornicating and having sex and coming back to God repenting. That's not, listen, buddy. You got to get focused. You got to get focused, man. So like for me, the main reason I'm also not having sex because I want to be effective in spiritual warfare against the Americans. You can't be effective having sex. Even the kind of sex that they agree they agree with. No, you can't win like that. See, some of y'all still struggle with trying to impress these people and all of that. I mean, you'll be amazed at how many people still struggling with that. It's supposed to be Christians. I don't struggle with it. Which means I'm not trying to have sex with nobody to prove nothing to nobody at my age. If you older like me, this is a time to take a break from sex anyway. You in your 20s and 30s? You past your 20s and 30s? Okay, so then you in your 40s, you already know what sex is, right? Okay, so it's time to take a break and grow in the anointing. Grow in the anointing. So that we can win this spiritual war and stop acting like you gotta have that. God is everything. So how you with God and you still struggling? You know why you're still struggling? Because you ain't closed the door. You just closed the door. Which means I ain't thinking about sex. I ain't trying to have. See, long as you keep holding on while you ain't with nobody, guess what? You're going to be masturbating. You're going to be watching pornography. And you're going to be you're going to be entertaining the thought of being with some woman if you're a guy, or being with some man if you're a woman. You're going to still be entertaining the thought. And all that's going to do really at the time when you ain't with nobody, it's going to lead to lust. That's what it's going to lead to. That's all it's going to lead to. And this time, thinking about somebody is all it's going to do is lead to you feeling sorry for yourself and masturbating. That's all it's going to lead to. So then what you do is you close the door, which means I ain't thinking about even being married. See, that's the final door you close. I know I ain't even thinking about that. Now I'm clear to grow in God without any hindrance. I'm not even thinking about being married, because from that you could get depressed and want to masturbate because you ain't married and you ain't got nobody in your life. Close the door for sex in marriage. Period. Close the door. That means don't even think about the future with nobody. That's the hardest door to close for even me, anybody. Close the door, and guess what? God is going to open the door for you. Let him open the door. Close the door, and for the door to open again, let God open the door. Don't open the door at all. Let God open the door. That's how you do it. Okay? Don't that means when you close the door, no more thinking about sex, no more thinking about marriage. There's people that talk about preparing for marriage. See, their mind is still on it. I'm trying to show you the next level. No, when you are the person you're supposed to be and you're growing in the Word of God, you're gonna be preparing for a wife or a husband anyway. You can study things on being a great spouse or anything, but I think, listen, I'm gonna tell you what you need to do. If you anything like me and you feeling the vibe like you like me, don't even worry about being prepared for no woman. Don't worry about none of that. Close the door and let God open the door. Because right now, we are in spiritual warfare. We don't need to be thinking about no woman. If you're a woman, you don't need to be thinking about no man. If they ain't in your life right now, and you don't see nobody that's really a potential that God is showing you, then just close the door. Close the door. Just close that door. And let God open it up. Don't close. Put the deadbolt on. Put all the locks on. The chain lock. Everything. Put all the locks on the door. And let God open all those locks. Don't open it up again. And then this way, your mind is totally focused on growing in God. Now you ain't thinking about nothing. You ain't thinking about nothing. And I promise you, it's so many people that's not free from that. They not free. They not free from lust. They not free from sex. America is full of this corny, over-sexualized environment. This environment is all about sex. This culture is all about sex. You listen to the music, you listen to the movies. Sex is always the insinuation. You a Christian, you have to opposite that insinuation. You have to be the contrast. Well, we ain't even think about sex at all, let alone some children. Let alone some children. We ain't think about nobody. How about that? That's what's gonna make the devil mad. Listen, what's gonna make him mad is I ain't had sex in over a year, and I ain't crazy. Add that part. You're not crazy, and you haven't had sex in a year, and it's a celebration. Yay! We don't have to listen. We don't have to have sex at all. How about that? While some of y'all might not be pedophiles, but you're going to hell for fornication. If you die like that, you're going to hell for fornication, little buddy. Okay, you might not be a pedophile, but you're going to burn in hell if you having sex with all these women and men. Okay, so you're still going to hell, and you're going to burn in the same hell with pedophiles. How about that? You're going to burn in the same hell that pedophiles burn in. That's why we tight today. We ain't think about no sex today. Because you know how many people done died and went to hell for fornication. They done died and went to hell for having sex with somebody that's not their husband or their wife. See, to understand this is to understand holiness and God's true plan of righteousness. Because you might think it's harmless until you understand righteousness and holiness and purity according to God, and it's unholy and unclean, and you go to hell for it. And this is how you got to understand it. You can't go to heaven doing anything unclean. An unclean spirit can't be in heaven. So if you don't do things God's way, it may seem trivial to you, but that's why real service of God, check with God. Don't check with yourself. Check with God, because you can't be up there with him with an unclean spirit. No, you can't. Listen, all these people that's in people's business, you know what the Bible calls you? A busybody in other men's matters. They gonna have their place in the lake of fire. People that's in people's business. That's why I love the Bible, because it addresses every person. The Bible calls you a busybody in other men's matters. They gonna have their place in the lake of fire. And I'm next time I do a video later on today, I'm gonna do a message about a busybody in other men's matters, because that's the spirit that we need to hit right there. Because whatever is on your biscuit that make you think you can play with me, and God is with you, and you some righteous country, you ain't righteous as a whole community. So how does it make sense? It doesn't. It's like having a dirty room and then you picking up one piece of debris and talking about the room clean. You got a whole dirty room. How's it clean, buddy? By picking up a piece of debris. It's not. It's not clean. So whatever is on your biscuit, we're going to get it off, buddy. Whatever you got on your biscuit, that you eating on your biscuit, we're going to get that off, man. We're going to show you, man. Listen, bro. Listen. Your country is unclean. Okay? Whatever you talking about, y'all doing it. Okay? Okay, so it's not in reality. That's why I love reality. In reality, you doing everything you talking about. I'm pretty sure you realize that, right? If you got a brain, I'm pretty sure you realize y'all doing everything you talk about. So you're not doing everything you talk about. You are. You lose, buddy. I'm sorry. Your country is doing everything excessively, and that's what make you lose. You're doing everything excessively that you're talking about. Okay, nah, you lose, buddy. You lose. We don't entertain that no more. We don't care nothing about what you're talking about. We don't care nothing about no psychological attacks. We don't care nothing about that. And we can address that and look at that and know it's not us. It's being guarded according to what you threw the last time. So whatever dynamic that you're using, whether it's people and their kids and celebrities and their kids, when we're guarded, we see what it is, right? That we're thinking about. When we think about celebrities, but we see the attack behind what you did with celebrities, and because we see it, don't mean we guilty of it. It means we guarded towards the last attack that you threw. Okay, see, I learned how to counter you. I learned how to live past who you are. See, some people, all you got to do is set yourself free and realize, man, I mean, even if something did cross your mind, you're not perfect. Okay, that's that. I mean, your brain is not perfect. Their brains is not perfect. So the bugged out thing is they struggle just like everybody else. We're trying to be pure and trying to put your best foot forward, trying to be pure towards the community. They struggle with the same thing. You know how we know? Because they're human. What makes them so despicable is they act like they're not human. This type of people and breed of people have always existed. It's the type of person that act like they don't have the same struggles as you. They don't act like they do, but they do. They act like they perfect. They act like they don't struggle the same way, and they hypocrites. That's the worst type of person, bruh. A person that act like they ain't human like you, and they can point towards something imperfect about you, but they not perfect themselves. That's why this type of person and breed of people have always been despised throughout ancient history, all history. The type of person that can act like they not human, and they don't have no struggles, like they mind is perfect, like they perfect. It's always, listen, it ain't ever been God's people. See, that's the culture of these Americans, thinking it's God's people that think they perfect. No, I ain't never said I was perfect. It's a new day in Christianity, buddy. It ain't no Catholicism, Christianity, religious Christianity going on. Where it's all, you don't know if it's Catholicism. That time is gone, buddy. You got, yeah. Real new Christianity is, man, listen. We don't even listen, no disrespect, but we ain't even really listening to Kurt Franklin, bro. I'm keeping it 100 with you. Hey, ask most of these Christians, do they even listen to gospel music anymore? Oh, go ahead and test it. Do you really listen to gospel music like you used to? Like 20 years ago, back in 2006? Not really. Not really. Not really, man. I think that's for a reason. Let that resonate. I think that's for a reason. Because people's spirit ain't right, bruh. Think about what I'm saying. Think about how you don't even look for no gospel music no more. As far as American gospel music, let me clarify that. You don't even really listen to American gospel music no more. You know why? I think some of the people's spirit ain't right. That's what it is. That's what it is, bro. Their spirit ain't right. But are we perfect? No, I'm not perfect. But what I will do, instead of trying to point out your flaws, I would just depart and separate myself. That's what I'm supposed to do. See the difference? If I see something wrong with you, I'm going to just separate from you. That's it. That's the best. Because to be holy is to be separate. That's the definition of holy. To be holy is to be separate. So I'm going to just separate from you. That's all. It don't mean I'm bougie. See, it gets taken out of context. It don't mean I'm bougie. It don't mean, it ain't even hate. It's that I got to have my spirit right. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to be around certain spirits no more. And I'm just being real. I don't even, like certain spirits, it ain't even fear. It's like, I just don't even want to be around. Nah. See, I celebrate a whole year clean from women. I ain't had no woman on me in a whole year. March 2025 was the last time I had sex with a woman. You know how long it's been? You know how long it's been since I had sex? Since I done went a whole year without sex? Over 16 something years. Over 17 years. Going on 17 years. Have this been the longest? Yeah, it's been over 17 years since I have been abstinent and not have sex with nobody for over a year. 17 years. That's why I don't pay no attention to them. Because see, while we're in spiritual war, we're going through also a cleanliness, a sanctification process. Where God is sanctifying you, and our enemies don't realize, the more pure we become, guess what? The more pure we become, the more effective you are going to be in spiritual warfare. You know why they mad at us? I'm going to tell you, listen, because you're pure, you're really righteous. Guess what? You're going to be effective in spiritual warfare. You know why these people that's raving about these gang stalkers, these Christians that's raving about these gang stalkers, and you can't get nothing done. You know why you can't get nothing done? You know why they still on your tail? Because you're not pure. You're not walking righteous. You're not walking as a righteous man or a righteous woman. And that's why they winning. See, even the carnal man is going to realize when watching me, or the carnal woman is going to realize when watching me, that I can win wars if I'm pure. But you can't win wars if you're not pure. Because how they've been watching us, that's all they've been looking for is impurity. So you can't think yourself that you can win with impurity. If you've been thinking I can lose with impurity, how you think you're going to win with it? That's why you can't win. That's why, here's the punchline. That's why America cannot win. That's why you can't win. You know why you can't win? Because you're impure. It don't matter what Trump do. Hallelujah. It don't matter what Trump try to do. You will not win as Americans until you're pure. I'm not going to do it, and then you don't got to do it, and you just win. It don't work like that. It don't work like that in the real world. You can't win your wars if you're not pure. That's the bottom line. And so then you would say, well, what is purity? Good question. Purity is what God says purity is. Not, oh, I'm just pure towards children. Okay, but you're not pure towards women. You have sex every time with any woman. You have sex with any man if you're a woman. You can't win your wars. You won't win. You can endure, but you won't win. See, the difference between endurance and winning is two different animals. I win wars, while ironically, you think I don't endure. You think I'm not enduring. I'm enduring. But I'm winning wars. That's most important. Because we could split hairs about what endurance is or what it looks like. See what I'm saying? It's no misinterpretation for winning. You know I'm winning. That's all. See, when you're a soldier, right? When you're a soldier, you're gonna be different from the culture of America. Which means you gotta make sure you're not going out here trying to be tough. You gotta make sure that when you was raised in black culture, that you're not out here trying to be cool and tough and doing stuff for that reason. You know what I'm saying? Making any steps for that reason. See, you can't let the devil beat you by making steps for the wrong reason. And I'm listen. Am I perfect towards this? I am not. But I'm way down the road. I'm way down the road from other people. And I've learned if you take every challenge that comes your way, you're gonna lose. You're gonna be in jail. So you gotta as a soldier, you gotta let people think you a coward. Okay? That's part of suffering. Especially as a black man, you gotta let people think, oh, you a punk. No, you a Christian. Think about it. You're a Christian. And that's who you first are. Not a thug or a gangster or a street person. You are a Christian. So guess what that means? So to some people, you're going to look like a punk sometimes. You're going to look like a punk to some people. And guess what, buddy? Listen. That's part of your suffering. I've heard people say, nah, you shouldn't let them do you like that. You shouldn't let them punk you like that. You should come on out here, come out in the streets and let people know, nah, I don't need to do that. Because it ain't going to matter anyway. And this is why. Because they going to send as many people as long as you stand out there. Like a video game. You ever play a video game? As long as you stand in the same spot, the enemies keep coming until you actually move on. Until you keep moving, you can stand right in that same spot, and they gonna send as many enemies and little characters as long as you stay in that same spot. So guess what you have to learn? You have to learn to advance and not try to fight everybody. You got to learn to advance and not even answer everybody. You see what I'm saying? Now you're more focused on advancing. You're not focused on, oh, I need to fight this person. I need to show this person what I'm made of. I'm telling you this, man. If you're real, you know what I'm talking about. Now, if you're a coward, you've been a punk your whole life, then, and don't take this the wrong way, it's going to be easier for you to follow humbling yourself and being a good Christian because you ain't got no backbone. You never was a stand-up guy, so you know all you're gonna do is just be nice and submit and do and pray for people and everything like that. But for the real ones, the ones that came out the streets, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard when you become when you're a Christian to turn the other cheek. But I'm telling you, the only way you're going to be able to do that. See, why I say that is it's easy for a punk to say, or, you know, or a coward that was a coward before they became a Christian. It's easy for you to say, oh, you know, well, you know, that ain't the right spirit. You know what I'm saying? Challenging people and everything like that. But you was a punk before you became a Christian. No, that's real. That's real. So it's easy for you to sit back and pray and everything and let that thing and judge us and judge our character because you was always a punk. You got to watch out for that punk spirit, bro. That's in Christianity, in religion. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You was a punk, so it's easy for you to judge us and say, oh, well, you know, that ain't the right spirit. God ain't got no gangsters over there. You know, God ain't got raising up no gangsters or no street dudes. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's ratchet. You know, they gonna say all that kind of stuff. But that's because you was a punk before you became a Christian. So you never grew no backbone. You never stood up for yourself. You never had weapons. You never carried weapons or nothing. You never got kicked out of school for fighting and carrying weapons. Okay, so then, you know, you didn't grow in manhood and masculinity in the way the world does, where you defend yourself, which is not a bad principle of defending yourself. Defending yourself is not a bad principle. You just got to use wisdom. But you never really defended yourself ever against anyone. You listen, you'll be surprised how many timid spirits are in religion. You can't entertain those people. Because at the end of the day, when it comes down to this war, where they at? Where these punks at in religion? They ain't gonna be nowhere to be found, bro. That's why you gotta watch every spirit, even though it say it's a Christian spirit, you gotta watch for a timid spirit in these times. No, you gotta listen to what I said. Even from a woman don't supposed to have no timid spirit just because you feminine. Because you feminine don't mean you supposed to be timid. God didn't put no spirit of fear on you. The Bible says God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. God has given you the spirit of a sound mind, bro. Right? So in no spirit of fear. A woman can't be fearful and hide behind femininity and say, I'm a woman or I'm a girl. No. God didn't put no spirit of fear on no female because she's a female. So you got to make sure when you're watching these pretty women that's Christians on YouTube that they not feeding you a timid spirit in Christianity. That's why I'm very careful who I listen to. I don't care if it's a female. I don't care how good. She could be right in all the right areas, but she is a fearful person. She's a fearful spirit. And when it comes to this war that we got going on right now, where's she going to be? Thinking, oh, just like I said, like the other punk, oh, I should just pray for these people. I should just do that. And you think that's a feminine spirit, but really it's a fearful spirit. It's a timid spirit. Trust me, I know. And you look at these beautiful women, think, oh, and you know how Christian men gonna be. That's why they get all the views. And I'm not hating, but they see how beautiful you are, right? But here's the problem. You're letting a feminine spirit feed you timidity. Timidity, a timid spirit, a fearful spirit, which is easy to jump on a woman. So you got to make sure that you're not entertaining any spirit that don't understand that this is a war between us and America. You can't I'm telling you, it might, for some of y'all, it's going to take 2 or 3 more years if God tarries for you to understand this. You can't entertain no spirit that does not draw the line in the sand with their discernment. They discerning everything, trying to discern me and you, but not discerning America. That kind of spirit too, that does not discern America, but they discerning everybody else. You can't have that kind of spirit around you. No, you can't have that kind of spirit around you. Because now is the time for us to fight these people that oppose God's kingdom, man. It's what it is. It ain't nothing we can do about it. And see, some people gonna be martyrs. Some people gonna be martyrs. That's what it is. I am convinced that some Christians are going to die as martyrs because of their ignorance. That's true. Yes. You could die as a martyr and go to heaven, but you died prematurely because of your ignorance. It don't mean you're gonna go to hell because you were ignorant. See, there are some Christians who die, but that don't prematurely, but it don't mean you went to hell. And the rest of us gonna live on, and you gonna get and we gonna get more honor for being educated when we know these people are against us and we going to war about it. Okay, we ain't confused. We ain't confused at all. Okay, if you against me, then I gotta be against you. Unless we gonna be martyrs, and we not. Okay, so then what's left? What's left with a persistent spirit that keep playing with you? Okay, you gotta go to war. That's it. It ain't nothing else to it. The insinuation is you're supposed to die, and that's not gonna happen. Okay, then. So then what? Then what is the other thing? What else do you gotta do? You gotta go to war, buddy. That's it. That's all there is to it. And see, for me, because I'm a fighter, it's no problem for me to fight back, right? Okay, so then, for punks, you ain't never fought back. So guess what you might wind up doing? You might wind up dying as a martyr. You're going to wind up dying like a martyr. And you're going to go to heaven, and God going to show you didn't have to die. You could fight back, my child. You could have fought back. Some people are in heaven right now as martyrs, and God is telling them you could have fought back. Well, I thought I was doing the right thing to pray for them. No, you was ignorant of my word. There comes a time when you no longer pray for people like this. It's a time when you no longer fast for people like them. It's a time when you no longer care about people like that. And that's okay. Because that's life. That don't mean you're a hateful person. You see what I'm saying? You see how docile and passive some people are. You think that you can't ever have a conflict like a docile animal that don't fight at all. You can't be a docile animal that don't fight at all, bro. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, bro. So you learn, if you've been here in America, you became, some of y'all became religious, some of y'all became carnal, part of the culture, and some of us became fighters. We became fighters in these last days, which means when people gotta die, man, they gotta die. I'm just sorry. It is what it is. Because you are in a dangerous community of people that conspire against us in guerrilla warfare like we stupid. Conspiring right outside the windows like we dumb, like we don't know no better. Conspiring right outside our doors, eavesdropping on us, and like we stupid. Okay, so we not stupid. So because we called it out. So how you play us as stupid then? If I call you out, how I'm stupid? You got people outside, the doors, and we going to war with these people. And that's that. It ain't nothing else to talk about. We winning. Hallelujah. Glory to God. We winning. All credit to God. See, I say, instead of saying all glory to God all the times, I say all credit goes to God sometimes, because that gives you more clarification in our modern day and time and terminology. All credit goes to God. All credit goes to the Lord. All the credit. See, that cleans your heart too. That keep your heart humble. Because we can be almost cliche and say all glory. All credit goes to God. All the credit. For why we are defeating these people. God gets all the credit. God gets all the rank for it. God gets all the acknowledgement. Because we could fast, we could give offerings, we could pray, but without God doing anything, what is it going to do? So you got to stay humble no matter what your rank is, because remember, God makes it all possible. If we fast and God don't hear us, or we fast and we go without food and God don't acknowledge it, it's just going without food. That's all it's doing. So that's why you got to stay humble and realize, okay, God is doing something. God is moving. Every time we fast and we give him the praise, we're great. We give him the praise, the worship. We give him the credit. Playtime is officially over. Recess. Tell these enemies in America, recess is over. Recess for you and your family is over, buddy. It ain't no recess time no more. Okay? And we grown men with a backbone, and we not slaves where people think our every little thought you can monitor and we care about it. I don't care about it. What you want to do about it? I'm a fighter, buddy. What you want to do about it? That's what a fighter would tell you. What you want to do? You don't want to do nothing. That means, listen, buddy, me and you, listen, that's why God chose me to be the leader. God ain't going to choose no punk. Let's make that clear. Let's make that clear. For the fight that we fighting, God ain't going to see. That's why you got to pay attention. Because who you mocking as crazy is the person that ain't no punk that's supposed to lead everybody. All these people sitting behind people that's talking about being nice and love, that ain't going to work, man. That's not what's going to do this. That ain't gonna get that done. Over here trying to love everybody, you're gonna be a martyr. That's what's gonna happen. You gonna be a martyr. I'm telling you right now. You're gonna be a martyr. Because and when you get to heaven, you're gonna think you did the right thing, and God gonna show you, nah, I'm glad that you died, but you didn't have to. You don't think God gonna tell you that? Of course he gonna tell you. He ain't gonna have you in the dark all eternity. He gonna tell you your whole life. Think about it. He ain't gonna leave you in all eternity like, oh, well, he gonna hide the truth from you. No. God gonna show you, you know what? Right there, you didn't have to die. You didn't have to die. You followed behind American religious Christians, and you didn't have to die. That's why you have to read the Bible. You needed to read the Bible for yourself. You need to have your own prayer life, fasting life, and you don't rely on no leaders. You rely on the Holy Ghost to lead you into all truth, not leaders. You don't rely on none of these preachers. I'm too old to be submitted to people just because you're a preacher. I don't care because you're a preacher. I'm 44 years old. I'm not a baby. So I ain't going to just listen to you because you're a preacher. I ain't going to just follow your spirit because you're a preacher. I'm going to let the Holy Ghost lead me into all truth. And that's how I'm going to be led. I'm not going to be led by no human being that might be following American Christianity, American religion and American worldviews where they halfway want to protect America. You can't. They did the wrong thing. It's what it is. See, so many people in America is used to being led by what you want to do. But now that the time comes that God wants us to do it one way, you so used to being wild as Christians, you still doing it your way. Now it done got tight and it ain't no room for error. Hallelujah. It ain't no room for error concerning what you're supposed to do and don't do. You've been following behind, you've been following behind American religious people for a long time. Now the war done popped off and it ain't no room for error. And you know what I mean? It's no room for error. You gotta know where you're going. You gotta know what you're doing. You gotta know who's the enemy. You gotta know who's your friends. You can't just be going with black people no more. No, you can't. Because they with the enemy. They with the witchcraft people. They with the Freemasons. Okay, so how you gonna just go with black people? That time of just being a wild Christian is over. You see what I'm saying? You gotta know, you gotta be attentive to the Spirit of God, knowing what you're doing. And that makes sense. In the last days, it's gonna be less room for error. The road gonna get more narrow because the war pops off and sides are drawn, right? Okay, so how you gonna be wild doing everything you want to do in the side, and you got two sides, and if you slip on that other side, guess what? They gonna devour you over there. You're gonna get devoured over there, and you're gonna be a martyr trying to be over there showing love in a time when the lines are drawn in the sand and sides are drawn. Sides are already drawn, bro. This ain't about color. This ain't about countries. This is about good and evil. That's all this is, man. Everybody's gathering on either side, good or evil. That's all it is. And guess what? It's going to be children on the other side that's working evil, out here gang stalking. You can hear them. You know that's what they're doing. You can go look it up. People are using children for gang stalking. Okay, so then they on the side of evil. And you got to be discerning enough to say, okay, those are children, but I'm not a dummy. I'm not a person that was born yesterday. I know people can use children for evil. So we can't even count them as children on our side right now. Once we die, once everyone goes and they go to heaven, now those children will be on our side. But God will communicate to them children that you were used for evil and your family was evil. You was not supposed to do that. Okay? But right now, those children are our enemies. But when everybody die, they go to heaven and God chastised them. That you shouldn't have been doing that against his people. They not going to have as much honor. The children that was used against us, I don't care what you say, they not going to have as much honor as us. Because they were used, I'm talking about the children that was used in gang stalking. Those children that was used in gang stalking is not going to have more honor than me and you. How's that possible? Because halfway they kind of know what they're doing, don't they? Okay, so then how they going to have more honor than us? Especially the teenager gang stalkers, especially them. Especially. And here's the punchline. Some of them would think they working for God's kingdom against you. The Bible told you this would happen. They'll think they doing God's service for attacking you. And I'm paraphrasing. They will think they doing good things by doing this to you. That's what the Bible says. Because the religion becomes love and you become a righteous person separating from unrighteousness. So as you separate from unrighteousness and love is not all you going by, they gonna esteem you as the enemy. No, see, listen, you don't know. I'm showing you how it's gonna happen. Glory to Yahweh. You know how it's gonna happen? Because you chose not the religion of love. You chose God. You chose righteousness. You didn't choose to be with everybody. You can't. Holy means separate. As soon as they find in you, in your intellect, in your heart, soul, that you separate from them, guess what? That's when they gonna hate you and despise you and think that you are not a godly person. Because when it comes down to righteousness and unrighteousness, I don't care about love. I gotta go with righteousness. See that part? While the rest of the world gonna say, well, I just love everybody. I feel like that's the right thing to do. I feel like following God is the right thing to do. And see, when you do that, you're going to be separate from these people. And that position of separation because of righteousness, not because you think you're better, because you're a righteous person, that's what's going to make them hate you. Ironically, the same people talking about love, they hate you, don't they? You know why they hate you? Because you walk with God. That's why. So they'll talk about loving everybody else, but they hate you, right? That's a contradiction, ain't it? Because at the end of the day, you ain't doing nothing to them, are you? Are you physically doing anything to these people? Okay, so look at it for what it is. Look at the exaggeration of what you've been doing, or what they say you're doing. Look at the exaggeration of what they say you're doing to them. When you ain't physically doing nothing, you ain't out here talking to them, are you? You ain't out here talking to them. So, see, if you was a wrong spirit, I could see if you was out here talking to them, I would say that's a wrong spirit. You ain't supposed to be. But when you ain't out here talking to these people, glory to Yahweh, you ain't out here doing nothing with these people, you ain't touching them physically, look how spoiled our enemies are. Like we doing something to them. Glory to God. Look how spoiled your enemies are when they talking about you doing something to them and you ain't physically doing nothing. You gotta uncharm yourself from the charm of the rest of these kooky, great, crazy people. That's maniacs. It's a maniac spirit, and I'm gonna do a whole teaching about it. It's a maniac spirit in America, running wild and crazy and gang stalking and doing. That's a maniac. I looked at it in the psychological disorder. In psychological disorder, it is a antisocial personality disorder. You got to go look it up, and it describes all these people. Antisocial personality disorder, right? It's that, and it's a maniac spirit too. It's a maniac spirit. It's not what you think it's just psychotic or psychosis. It's psychosis too, but when I looked up the different symptoms of each mental sickness and diagnosis, antisocial personality disorder is the main one. These people are, and maniacs. They're maniac spirits. And listen, I'm not a maniac for kids. I'm not an antisocial personality disorder for children. See, some people worship children. Yes, they do. And this is how we know you worship children, because you put children above what's right and wrong. I don't put children above what's right and wrong. No. And I don't put children above innocent people. Where I'm playing with innocent people because I heard something about children. So what? I don't worship children. See, some people in their mind, they think that's what makes them the greatest person in the world. And then they wind up playing themselves. Out here thinking you doing something for children makes you such a grand. It's this extreme element in their value system that the Americans got that they ain't never lived up to anyway. But it's an extreme thing in their value system about children that they never lived up to. And that's what you got to make clear. You never lived up to it as a community. You never lived up to it. This extreme idea that you protecting children and at any cost and all of this stuff, man, you marrying children. So let's cut the crap. You never. Now you see what I'm saying. Let's weigh all the things that has been done in this country. You have contradicted yourself severely by marrying children in America. We ain't trying to hear nothing about that no more. So then that shuts down the whole cause. When you are educated, just like I said, some people gonna die from a lack of education. They gonna die from a lack of education too. Not just the Christians. The people that's uneducated gonna die. Because you came out here in the world, in America, and you didn't know what your country really was doing, and the spiritual world did. The spiritual world did know, and you looked like a fool, and you was destroyed. Because you lived yourself a standard that nobody lived in America. As a collective community, as a collective community, man, they didn't live no standard of protecting children when marrying children. How can you say you lived the standard? You never did. You never lived it. Okay, so let's settle it. America never lived this standard that they projected on us. You may have lived it as an individual, but that's not going to be sufficient enough to stop God's wrath for people that's playing with people, but they never lived this way. Your little life of living pure towards children is going to be nothing. I'm sorry to tell you. So what? You got people running around doing everything else, but you talking about you living right. You love children. So what? You only one person. And God's wrath is not going to be held back because of you. What God is going to look at is all these people that contradicted themselves, that was ignorant, didn't even know their country was marrying children, and that's what God's going to look at. God ain't looking at who you was and how you honorable, and you might have served in the military or whatever you did with the police. So what? You're a drop in the bucket compared to what's going on. Well, these people don't realize they marry children, but they out here accusing people of being pedophiles. Buddy, listen. Your whole country is a pedophile. And you still haven't come to terms with it like you retarded. I'm starting to question if you are retarded. Because how are you not coming to terms with it? It is what it is. It is what it is, bro. You know, some people jealous because we got this information. I'm just being honest. I'm being honest, bro. Some people jealous that we got them this good. We got them this good and they hate it. We got them so good it ain't even funny, bro. Marrying children is the worst thing you could have done. In the case that you played with our integrity talking about children. The worst contradiction, it couldn't have been no better. The worst contradiction is you marrying children. That's the worst contradiction. You lose, buddy. You lose. You can't come back from that. Ain't nothing you can do. It's the history already. Ain't nothing you can do about it. It's already the history. It's already set in stone. Your whole time you was here in America, y'all was marrying children. Ain't nothing you can do about it. So then what happens? God has to destroy people that don't want to stop playing games. They didn't want to stop playing games. Glory to God. They didn't want to stop playing games. Okay, so what we gonna do? Die and they the ones and most liable than us? Because I ain't never thought about marrying no children. While we talking about thoughts, guess what? The worst thought is marrying children. Who thought about that? Have you thought about that? Well, these Americans have. These Americans have thought about it. So how they gonna talk about thoughts? Well, you done had the worst thought of all of us. Marrying children, that's the worst thought, buddy. And you're talking about thoughts. See, that's how you beat them. You're talking about thoughts, but the worst thoughts collectively in your community is marrying children, buddy. And right there is when you decide to be a man or a boy about this. You decide to be a girl or a woman about this. We're going to decide who got manhood right here and right now. When I tell you this, and if you entertain anything else, you a boy, you a child, we ain't even talking to you. We just gonna destroy you because we ain't talking to you. We talking to grown men and women that reason properly as men and women should. And when we find out that America is marrying children for whatever reason, we don't care what the reason is, a man is gonna use critical skill thinking and say, I now have to adjust to this. Even though I don't want to, even though I hate this, I love this country, I got to use critical skill thinking. Some people don't have critical skills thinking. When it's a critical time and it's a crisis time, and you learn to use the proper thinking, not just any thinking, you learn to adapt properly to the situation. When you learn to adapt properly, you realize, listen, these Americans never lived up to this standard. I don't care about no Epstein files or anything else they talk about. Cesar Chavez. No, listen, that's all Jedi mind tricks to make you think the Americans are upholding not being pedophiles, but they have never done that. That's what they always been doing. They always been trying to remove people from their community, but the bottom line is they've been marrying children. So if you're not smart, you're going to go with the Jedi mind trick like they're doing the right thing. See the Jedi mind trick? Like, well, the Americans don't do that. That's what an old, docile, dumb woman is going to think. Well, the Americans love protecting children. Why? Because they got rid of Cesar Chavez name around the streets and stuff like that? Because they went and tried to prosecute Epstein files and they talk about all this stuff about that? You got a whole bunch of old fools in the world, in America, that don't know nothing about their own country, and you done lived all these decades, and you don't know nothing about your country. Your country's been marrying children and having sex with children right here in our face. Then talking about pedophiles, which means to an intelligent man like me, you never had room to talk about no pedophiles. How? You're marrying children, how you got room to talk about it? Make it make sense, bro. You don't have room to talk about no pedophiles marrying children. And that's that. That's that. It's nothing else to be said. Now, the next step is, after this, you got to take people through a timeline. They act like they're crazy. After this, you realize anybody that challenge us in a fallen world, gets defeated, gets destroyed. I'm sorry, buddy. Playtime is over. If you came out here, listen, you're gonna die like a martyr for children, and that's all. And you can have that. You can take that. Don't matter to me, because I know my efforts is more heroic than yours. Well, if I'm talking about child marriage and you're incriminating innocent people for children, who you think is the best? I didn't even try to do this, but who's the best concerning children? You dying blindly like a martyr, but you couldn't prove nothing about pedophilia, or me talking about you marrying children as a community. Who you think is the hero for children? Oh, you blindly being a martyr, dying as a community, talking about you doing it for children. But you're marrying children at the same time. Make it make sense, bro. Make it make sense. Make it make sense to us. When you think you the most heroic thing towards children, but you're marrying children at the same time collectively. Come on, bro. You can't have your cake and eat it too. See, what the Americans is going to learn is that you can't have your cake and eat it too and act like you're some heroic community, but you're marrying children. You don't get to have your cake and eat it too. You're either one or the other. And if you're marrying children, you can't say you are a heroic community. You just can't believe it. That's part of being a man or a woman. Critical skills thinking, right? I adjust to anything when it's the truth. When it's the truth, I adjust to anything somebody tell me. I ain't gonna sit and say, gee, I can't believe this. I can't believe this is real. You a child. A man in critical situations is gonna adjust instantly. That's why some of y'all is not gonna make it. When this war pop off in World War III, you ain't gonna make it. You know why you ain't gonna make it? I'm gonna tell you why you ain't gonna make it. You're not going to make it because soon as you realize it's real, you ain't going to know what to do. You're going to freeze up. That's the term. You're going to freeze up. You're going to be paralyzed. When you realize World War III is on the horizon and this world is changing for real and it ain't coming back, you're going to be paralyzed. You're going to be paralyzed. When you realize it ain't no turning back, you're going to be paralyzed. When you realize Trump can't do nothing for you, you're going to be paralyzed. When you realize there ain't no more food stamps, ain't no more cash assistance, ain't no more EBT, you're going to be paralyzed. When them prices keep going up and when inflation keep going up, gas prices, oil prices, it ain't going back. It ain't going to go back to normal. You're going to be paralyzed because you ain't got no critical skill thinking. You completely dependent on the Americans your whole life. You dependent on them. You dependent on them and you ain't got no backbone to survive on your own. You listen, you go to the store, they got food for you. You need protection, you can call the police. You need all that's gonna be gone. Then what you gonna do? No police, no food, no water, and what you gonna do? You can already see it's going in that direction where the resources are threatened. The resources are already threatened in the Middle East. What you gonna do? Oh, sit here like, oh, I can't believe this. See, people are already saying it right now. They already saying, I can't believe this. It's the same spirit that can listen to me talking about child marriage laws and you say you can't believe it. I don't accept no spirit like that. I don't play with no spirit that can't believe stuff. That's the spirit that's going to be standing around looking stupid when this stuff happens. You're going to just die. You just going to die. Everybody else going to be running and doing it, and you're going to be sitting back. You're going to freeze up. Can't you see it? All the crowds running, everybody running in America, everywhere, and what they going to do? They going to freeze up, bro. They going to freeze up and fold. They going to die like roly-polies. Remember, if you're from the South, you know what roly-polies is. Roly-polies, them little bugs that roll up in a ball. Them little gray little bugs that roll up, you touch them and they roll up in a ball. You're going to fold up like roly-polies, man. If I was a rapper, still a rapper, that would be a good rap line, wouldn't it? They going to fold like roly-polies, man. They going to fold like roly-polies. You know what I'm saying? That's the truth. Because like, watch, man. Watch what happened. They gonna fold like roly-polies, bro. Watch, I'm telling you, watch. As soon as all this stuff, World War III come, they gonna fold like roly-polies. All this food go, they gonna fold like roly-polies. When you realize black people ain't really together, and it's good and evil black people, and you gonna fold like roly-polies. When you realize they ain't gonna be able to do nothing, it's all over, you gonna fold like roly-polies. You gonna fold up in a little ball like roly-polies. And all people that grew up with roly-polies, what you do when they fold up? You squash them. You gonna fold up and roll up in a ball and get squashed in a ball. The roly-poly think he gonna win because he done folded up in the ball. But a kid just gonna squash him, just like that. That's what you did as a kid. Oh, okay, he balled up in the ball, you just squashed him. You gonna fold up like a roly-poly and get squashed in a ball, bruh. You know, I'm just telling you what's gonna happen. Cause this ain't, listen, for New York, you need to hear this. This is not no movie, man. This ain't no TV show and no cartoon. Which means God is gonna see how you thinking like it is, right? Like you think this is a cartoon. He gonna destroy that perspective with judgment. His judgment is going to consider that you think this is a game in a cartoon. Which means this country gonna be so great in no fun, no entertainment, nothing. Just so these fools will understand that it's not no cartoon. That's how, listen, God, his judgment comes according to the needs. You know what's needed? For these people to realize in New York, this is not no TV show. In order to do that, you got to be completely humiliated in a gray world where it's nothing. That means your best movie stars got to be destroyed. That means all these celebrities, before it's all said and done, let me tell you something most people ain't talking about. Before it's all said and done, all these celebrities got to go. You're going to see them dying in all type of ways. You're going to see destruction listen, they going to live? They not going to live. They just like everybody else. That's why they sitting back quiet themselves, because they realize no matter how much money we got, we can't stop war. You can't stop no war, buddy. You can't stop World War III. A celebrity ain't nothing in this situation. This is how God gets the glory. Because them people sit back like nothing can't touch them. Watch what happens. They gonna now, besides the element of money and inflation and war, watch what God does to these people. It's just that time. It's just time, judgment time. It's just judgment time, bro. That's what I'm trying to show you. When it's judgment time, you ain't thinking about no love. That's what I'm saying. Think about what I'm saying now. Look at the back. Now, don't go to the extreme. But when it's judgment time, it's not no time of love to the forefront of the situation. To the forefront of the situation, this ain't no time for love with America. This is judgment time. And it would be different if you couldn't see nothing. You tell me you can't see nothing? You see what's going on, don't you? Okay then. Okay. So then we walk discerning who we deal with. Right now, you should only be dealing with God's people. Who else? Why else? Anybody else? Why else anybody else? They ain't doing nothing but sitting back trying to love everybody. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff and trying to pull together. Listen, man, you can't pull together without God, buddy. And you as a Christian, you know better. You know it ain't no hope without God. Ain't no hope without God, but they over there like it is. And you know better. You know in their best efforts, ain't nothing gonna change without God. You know that, don't you? You know if they ain't got their spirit right, they shouldn't expect nothing from God. Okay, the Bible says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, right? Let that man think he should receive nothing from God, right? Okay, so how can America, double-minded, how can they receive something from God? The Bible says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And I'm paraphrasing. Let him think he should receive nothing from God. Well, how America gonna do it then? If a double-minded man can't do it, because his mind is over here and his mind is over there, that's just like America. How are they going to receive from God? Protection. It says nothing. Let them think they should receive nothing. Okay, so how? You know how? Because you have made America so supreme in your mind and worldview that you think they can do whatever they want to do, and they double-minded, and that's a principle, and they ain't gonna receive nothing from God, but because they America, you think they are. You think they gonna get something from God. You think they gonna get blessings and protection. And they not. Because they are unstable in all their ways because they're double-minded. And it's no rule, America is no better than any other country. It's no exception to the rules. It's no exception. It don't matter what you say. It don't matter what you do. You're not going to be able to save these people. You can't save them. They can think whatever they want to think. You can't save these people. And listen, while they sitting up thinking we subject to their opinion, you subject to God's opinion. Which means when we good, you ain't. You still ain't good. Okay, we good, but you not. You're marrying children. You got homosexuality and lesbianism everywhere. You got gay and lesbian marriage everywhere. Okay, you're not good. We good, but you not. So the next step is you clear us, but we don't clear you. Listen, buddy, listen, man, listen. It's some people, some American Christians who sit back stupidly. I'm going to say it like Barack Obama would say. They sit back stupidly, right? You sit back stupidly thinking that, oh, it's going to be some hope, and you stay in a position of hope. If they are in a position for X amount of time, it goes into a season of judgment. And it's no longer hope for these people because now we in a season of judgment. You see what I'm saying? Now we're in a season of judgment. We're not talking about no hope for the collective America. All you can do is try to help people here and there. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. Because listen, man, they think they got us on a tightrope. If we just make one bad thought towards children, we lose. We don't lose like that. We're not going to lose like that. If you have one wrong thought, you're going to lose. No, you're not. No, you're not. Ain't nothing going to change. And I can live with it. Listen, buddy, I can live with a wrong thought. When I look at your country marrying children, I can live with wrong thoughts, buddy. I ain't going to die. I promise you. I promise you, because I'm smart enough to know I'm human. Okay, so then I ain't going to die. I don't care. See, in order for them to kill you that way, with this psychological stuff, where you want to give up and kill yourself because you thought you had a pedophile thought. See, they want you to feel like, oh, I'm a pedophile, I must kill myself. I think like a pedophile, I should kill myself. Listen, I don't care what I think like, I ain't gonna kill myself. How about that? See, that's how powerful you gotta be. You gotta be so strong, man. Listen, if something did cross my mind, so what? I ain't gonna die for it. When these people marry children, so what? I ain't gonna die for it. I guarantee, listen, man, a nigga like, excuse my French, a person like me, I promise you I ain't gonna die for that. I promise you I won't. So then what else? We don't care. We can live with it. We move on. It ain't nothing gonna happen. People despise them people so much, they ain't gonna let nothing happen even if it's true. Ain't nobody letting the Americans get away with this. Yeah, but see, when we in the good, they think this. I'm telling you what this type of spirit does. When you're good as a righteous person, right? When you're good as a righteous person, let me tell you what happens. Let me tell you what happens when you're good as a righteous person. This is what happens. They think, oh, now that you're good and a good righteous person, you're a good righteous person. Oh, now me and you can be friends. No, we can't. No, we can't. Because you have been found out to not have a right spirit. You are in a place of judgment. Not me. You are. No, you're not good. You're not good, buddy. No, you're not. Me and you not together. We not chained together on the chain game, buddy. We not on the chain game together. We not in the chain gang together, buddy. Okay? No, we not chained together, buddy. You thought we was. No, we not. It's you that's going to suffer and everybody see it now. And that means nothing happens to me. That means nothing happened to you. If you God's people. They thought it was between me and you and between us and them. No, it's not. No, it's not. Listen, buddy, listen. Listen. You gonna suffer for being a clown, coming out here playing with innocent people you couldn't prove was doing anything in the real world. Okay? We live in the real world. Okay? You couldn't prove nothing in the real world. You lose. You lose. I'm sorry. It's no contest. It's no game. You lose. Okay? That's all there is to it. You're not relevant today. We don't care about you. We care about World War III. We care about this war, these wars in Iran, where they talking about in 48 hours. In 48 hours, the Strait over there, if it's not clear, America finna attack Iran. Now you think I'm worried about a little girl out there you got screaming on purpose? You think that can bother me, man? Listen, you can't be serious. First, let's address it's little children. How that's gonna be us as God's people by you putting them in place as gang stalkers and then trying to see if you can see if something sexual on our minds. That's all they doing. They got to pay for that, man. Even though, listen, even though you might like children as a dynamic, like you just got a heart for children, it don't matter. They got to pay for it. It's reaping what you sow. The Bible says this: God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man sows, that shall he reap. It's no discrimination. I can show you in the Bible where children died. Just in case you one of them fun-loving, child-friendly people, I can show you in the Bible. This is why you can't be no punk. I can show you in the Bible when people play with God's kingdom, when children play, they die. No pun intended. Listen, you can't shoot the messenger. You mad about it, you feel some type of way about it, listen, God can take care of it. If you want smoke, listen, that's what it is. I'm just saying. I mean, you know, God is not playing any games, bruh. Their time is up. They use children and we don't care about that no more. We standing proud and tall and saying, you know what? I don't care if I had a thought that was wrong. I'm still going to heaven, and because I don't think like that. That ain't how I think. So I'm going to heaven, whether you like it or not. See, it's a little Jedi mind trick that's trying to witch you out, but you really don't think like that, right? So you just got to get past the spirit that's trying to outfox you psychologically. Because you know you don't think like that, right? Okay then. Okay, so then what is going on? It's a spirit that's trying to outfox you and make you feel like you think like that. Hopefully you kill yourself. See, only way you would do that is if you are nice to a fault, right? Oh, I just had a wrong thought towards children. I'm going to just go die. I'm not. I don't care what I think. I don't care what thoughts I have. When I see these people over here marrying children, I don't care what it is. They marrying children. You think I'm going to have a wrong thought and die? I want to die? You tripping. And that's how you got to be built, bro. With these people out here using children and everything, what you think the first one-on-one in that situation is? No matter what cross your mind, you ain't going to die for it. No matter what they talking about, as long as you ain't touching no kids, you ain't going to, I don't care what it is. Including celebrity children, they using them too as psychological images in our mind against our mind. Okay, so we don't care about that. That don't intimidate me. Why? Because they got money or they supposed to be a threat to me. I don't care nothing about that. I know what I think and I know what I do and I don't do. And you know what? Right now, I ain't thinking about no one sexually, let alone children. I ain't thinking, let alone children, buddy. I ain't thinking about nothing sexually. And see, that's what you do. During times of spiritual war like this, you close the door sexually totally. Where it don't even make sense because you ain't having sex with nobody. You ain't thinking about nobody sexually. So that's how you know it's not you. You see the trick? You know it's not you because your mind ain't thinking about it. So how can it be you? That's how you beat them. How it's going to be you and you ain't thinking about sex? You know you have the power not to think about sex, right? Okay, so you have the power not to think about it. So it ain't like you can't live without it. It ain't like you gotta think about it. They'll try to act like, at some point for who? At some point for a carnal American like you that sit up and entertain all this stuff. At some point of the day, you gonna think about sex. Not me. Because I don't feed myself that stuff. I don't feed myself all these women gyrating and percolating all around. I don't feed myself that stuff no more. I used to, but I don't feed myself that stuff no more. And now I don't even think about it. It's been a year later and I ain't had sex with no woman. And guess what? Like I said, we gonna be powerful in spiritual warfare. In spiritual warfare, they ain't gonna be able to see us. That's how you beat them. You got to stop smoking. You got to stop drinking excessively. Come on, listen, I'm keeping it real. You live here in America, I ain't stupid. You know what I'm saying? Christians go through, Christians got their vices on the low. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. Don't listen. I know for sure. Okay? Like, you can't be smoking. You got to stop smoking. One thing I learned about smoking tobacco, only tobacco, is what deceives people is it's only tobacco. That's what deceives people. It's not intoxicating. That's what the first thing people gonna say. It don't intoxicate me. It don't matter. It can possibly kill you from lung cancer. That's how you know God don't want you to do it. You can get respiratory infections and things. Why would God want you to do something that can cause you respiratory infections and lung cancer? So that's how you know it's not of God. That's how you know it's not good. Because it possibly can cause you harm. So why would God have you doing it as a righteous person? That's how you know. Because what's going to deceive people is, but it don't get me high, but it could kill you. It still can destroy you. It still can kill you. See, that's the deception about tobacco. It don't get you high, but it still can kill you. Now that's crazy, right? It don't get you high. But you know how many people done died from smoking? It don't resonate really until you get somebody in your family that dies from it. That's when you start realizing it. It starts to resonate when you get somebody in your family that dies from it. Now you realize, oh, you could die from smoking cigarettes. You could die from smoking tobacco products. Okay? Okay, so with that being said, right? With that being said, smoking tobacco, what makes it demonic and dark in nature is the habitual repetitious nature of it. Constantly smoking. It's the repetitious nature of smoking that makes it dangerous for you. That's what makes it dark and demonic. And what I've learned from a person that used to smoke, that hasn't smoked in 2 years, right? When you smoke, I told these people we don't care about what comes across our mind, buddy. They keep playing the same game. We already won. You don't want no problems with me. We don't care about that. What part of that they don't understand? I'm not in a jam. I keep mine. I stay armed. I'm an armed man. We don't care about that. That's not going to break our heart. If we have something cross our mind that we don't know what it was, I don't care what it was. I know I stay guarded properly. See, this is the next level, bro. I'm trying to show you the next level. The next level is whatever that little psychological stuff they're doing, we don't care about it. Point blank period. Let somebody challenge us and then see what happens. That's why I tell you, get your gun license, so you can get you a gun. And get you guns, more than one. And let somebody challenge and talk about something on your mind. You cock back your gun on them. Cock back your gun on them. Cock back your gun. Okay, what you talking about? I guarantee you, listen, this is one thing about these Americans. When you get a gun, they gonna sober up. No pun intended. Oh, they'll sober up. You get a gun, they'll sober up. Now they want to reason. Well, we just thought so much. Nah, you listen. Listen, you should explain that before the gun, what you thought, right? But the gun comes out all of a sudden. Now you a mediator. You're a mediator now that the gun comes out. See, that's how you realize you're being played with because you're not armed. You're being played with. I'm telling you, even as a woman, you're being played with because you're not armed. You get armed, and guess what happens? Now they ain't got no smoke with you. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is. Them ain't nothing but psychological witchcraft people. It don't bother me, because I already done weathered it. We caused World War III. We don't care nothing about that. They was doing that months ago. That same little girl they had out there, she was doing that, I count, 5 months ago. The same little game. They one-trick ponies, man. That's all they are. They one-trick ponies. Okay? And we guard it according to the truth. We know what the truth is. They'll use anybody. They'll use Christian YouTubers. They'll say you violated them or you thought something. We know. Listen, buddy. We know you playing wizardry, witchcraft games, and that's all your pathetic community got. That's all you got. You on your last leg. That's all you got. Little girls and psychological games with Christian YouTubers trying to trigger us on our own people. Like we think it's something funny towards them and their family. See, that's what they trying to do, man. Listen, man. Listen, bro. Me and you are two, for psychological people in America, me and you are two different animals. You know how? I'm going to tell you how. Because we manifest on God's side and you don't. We don't see nothing you've done in the real world. We don't see nothing you've done in the real world. You ain't done nothing in the real world, and the world is ending. And listen, man, listen. Anybody got a problem? Listen, hey, I'm just telling you, I got it right here. I got whatever you want. Whatever problem you want, I got it. For the biggest man. He could be 500 pounds, and I got a weapon for him that he don't want to see. I promise you that. He could be 500 pounds, and I promise you, I drop him. And that's all I'm saying, bro. It's not about being a thug or a gangster. See, a black man gonna always get stigmatized as that when he stand up and defend himself, because that's the only ones they know that defend themselves as black. Because we don't got enough examples of armed men that's not thugs and gangsters. So as soon as you start talking about being an armed man, the first stigma is gonna be you coming off like a thug or a gangster. No, I'm not. I'm a black man that believes in being armed. That's what it is. Because it eliminates clowns. You know what I'm saying? It eliminates clowns and their children. If you know this person's armed, you ain't gonna bring their children out there, because you don't know what's gonna happen. If you know a person is armed with a gun, you gonna bring your children out there to play psychological gang stalking games. You gonna bring them out there to play gang stalking psychological games? No, you're not. No, you're not. You ain't bringing your kids out there, because you don't know if that person gonna come out there crazy. It's too dangerous. You're gonna feel a whole different danger when you know that person got a gun. So I hate to say it, man. Like you know, people take you more seriously when you got a gun, buddy. And that's it. You listen to Phil Collins. I'm not saying listen to Phil Collins, but he makes it clear, man. Like, listen. You remember, you know the song Both Sides of the Story, where he said a white man came in the hood and a little black dude threw him across the wall, and he said, I carry a gun because that's the only way I get respect. Instead of looking at him as demonizing him, he gets respect. He commands respect with his gun. That's how it's always been. That's how it always been, and that's how it looks like it's always gonna be. You know what I'm saying? People know you armed. It's not a game, bro. What game you think we playing and I'm armed? What game you think I'm playing and I'm armed? Okay, I don't know what game you think I'm playing, buddy. See, you made it to where now your children don't exist in our world. And you can take it how you want. You can run with that and take it how you want to take it. American children that you used against us, we don't coexist with them no more. That's how it is, bro, because you played games, you did it. You put them in that position. Now, we do not coexist with your family. That's it. God ain't gonna have us played with and stepped on like your children can step on us. I don't care if it's children or not. You can't step on me. So we do not coexist with you. We do not coexist with you or your parents. And that's what it is. I ain't say I was a nice guy. I'm a right guy. I don't try, because look, people gon' misinterpret what nice is anyway. If you tell people the truth, they gonna say you a jerk. Right? They gonna say you a jerk if you tell people the truth. I'm telling you, that's what they're going to do. So then if you one of them people that want to be nice to everybody, you're going to get left behind, bro. You're going to get left behind because you're going to be over there with the Kurt Franklins trying to be cool with Snoop. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, come on, man, listen. Listen, bro. Listen. It comes a time where it's good versus evil. And you got to choose. You got to make your side. You got to make your side distinguishedly clear. You got to make it distinguishedly clear, bro. You can't, it ain't no, nah. You can't smoke weed and hang out and party and talking about you with Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Making Jesus songs. That's fake, man. And that's something people got on. That's what now we see what Pac is talking about. Because Snoop, man, don't know how to choose a side. That's true. Tupac basically said, man, Snoop don't know how to choose a side. You know what I'm saying? He seen all this stuff going on, and you supposed to ride with the people you with. Snoop still, 20 years, 30 years later, he's still doing the same thing Pac was talking about. He go over there and make gay books and all this stuff for gay people and everything. But you're supposed to be a Christian. So then right there, specifically, you did not choose your side. Pac was complaining about the same thing with Snoop, and now I see what he talking about. Snoop is the type of person that love everybody and get along with everybody. It sounds good, but the problem with it is you don't stand for nothing like that. You don't stand for nothing when you don't sit up, when you don't tell the truth for what it is, when your worldviews is good with everybody. It's no way you can be like that. It's no way you can be like that. The only way you can be like that is that you don't stand for nothing. That's true, man. That's true. If you just everybody over here, over there, see, that's what we do. We ain't gonna make you be, well, I'm gonna be cool with these people. Well, I'm gonna be cool with these people. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. You getting high all the time. You want to be cool. You cool with everybody. You don't want to. Well, I'm cool with everybody. You know what I'm saying? You gonna be more. You gonna have this synthetic compassion because you high. That's all it is. That's all it is, bro. So with me, listen, man, I'm not one of them people like Snoop and Kurt Franklin. I'm just keeping 100 with you, because it comes a point in time where your worldview has to say, yo, the Bible says gay and lesbianism is wrong, right? I have to stand on that, no matter if I get canceled, persecuted, or whatever. This is what times we live in. Instead of taking the persecution, instead of taking the hits, Snoop gonna go over there and do gay stuff with gay people. Write gay books or whatever he was doing over there. That little gay stuff. Listen, man, listen, bro. This is what Pac was complaining about, man. That's all I want y'all to look at, man. Because at first you kind of thought maybe Pac was being unreasonable because kind of Snoop was kind of laid back and all he was saying was Biggie didn't want no problems. But the truth came out, really, man, that really Snoop won't stand with Jesus. He won't stand with Pac. He didn't stand with Jesus. He don't stand for Jesus. The truth. So what it really was is what Pac was talking about, man. And you wouldn't know looking on the outside. The truth is Pac studied Snoop and realized Snoop don't stand for nothing. That's what it is, man. That's what it is, man. And I'm not saying that because I feel like Snoop is an easy mark or anything. It don't matter if he's an easy mark or not. Or he's just a humble person and he ain't gonna say nothing to me. I don't care if he would or not. I don't care about that. He's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. That's why I'm bringing him up. He will sit up and make gay stuff, make gay with gay people. But you said you a Christian. You don't stand for Jesus. So then I don't take none of that serious no more. The one thing he did with what's that dude named B Slade, who used to be Tone. Okay, I can understand that because he was a gospel singer, right? And you're trying to embrace him. I can understand that, right? But going and making gay stuff and all that, nah, bro. That's the difference between love and acceptance. You don't supposed to give acceptance to a lifestyle of homosexuality and lesbianism. You're supposed to give love, not acceptance. See, what I've learned with the gay community, love is not enough. Love is not enough. They want you to accept what they do. You don't see the difference? See, if you're not smart, you don't know the difference. You don't supposed to accept what they do. You're supposed to show love, and it's a difference. So there's some people out here that love ain't good enough. If you're a Christian, love ain't good enough. You can show love and everything, but guess what they're gonna keep talking to you about? Well, guess what the gay person gonna keep talking to you about? How they love, how they live, and how people don't understand them, etc., etc. Right? They gonna get into that part. They gonna get into that. Listen, buddy. They looking for you to accept what they do. Love ain't good enough to them. Most of them, love is not good enough. So let's talk about it. Love ain't good enough for them. They want you to accept what they do. For most of you Americans, you don't know how to show love and give love to people without accepting what they do. Oh, I can love people, but I don't accept what they do. But that's not good enough. See what I'm saying? Think about it. This person wants you to accept what they're doing. The average person in America, they want you, what they want more than anything? They want acceptance in the way they live in. They want you to accept the way they live in. As a community. No, I can give you love, but I don't accept what you're doing. Just like your children. That's a perfect example. When you got children, right? You don't love, once they get a certain age, they start doing stuff you don't agree with, right? So you learn to show love without accepting what they do. Your kids get older. They become grown men and women. You ain't going to accept everything they do, but guess what? You're going to love them, but you don't accept what they do, right? Especially as a Christian. You ain't going to accept what they doing. No, you're not. You ain't going to accept what they doing. You ain't going to agree with it at all, but you're going to still love your children, right? That's the difference. You got a parent learns the art of loving the child, but not accepting what they're doing. But you remain simple-minded when it comes towards people and then practice the same thing. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to treat the people like you treat your children. I show love, but I do not accept what you're doing. See how I got tricky and how they Jedi mind trick you? You start accepting what they was doing. And all you should be accountable for, listen, I show love. You know, that's it. I show love, but I don't accept what you're doing. No, I don't. But see, that's where the problem becomes. That's where the problem comes in. See, some people not smart enough to even understand this. The difference between showing love to these people, you know what I'm saying, instead of showing acceptance, which God don't want you to do. God don't want you to accept their lifestyle, what they doing. So you can say Jesus is love, but not acceptance to sin. Jesus is not acceptance to sin, and what people doing is sin. Jesus is holy. Don't blaspheme God. Don't blaspheme Jesus. Jesus do not accept sin. He loves people, but not accept the sin. Check yourself. You have said things that show that you accept the lifestyle they live. You have said things that show that you accept how they was living. Do your thing, you know what I'm saying? Do what you don't supposed to say none of that. That's okay what you're doing. See that part? And you think you're showing love. That's not love, buddy. Jesus is love, right? Yeah. You ain't gonna never hear Jesus say, okay, go ahead and do your thing. Jesus gonna say, go ahead and do your thing. Referring to the gay lifestyle. Jesus gonna just say, oh yeah, go ahead and do your thing. Bruh, you see what I'm saying? People start blaspheming, man. You talking about Jesus and Jesus' love, and Jesus would be doing this. Jesus wouldn't be accepting and saying things for people to accept, to show acceptance to the lifestyle they live in, and they live like homosexuals and lesbians. God is not going to show no acceptance. And so let's just be honest. You was an amateur at love. Why you think you rule in love and you the king of love? Come on, stop playing, bro. You was an amateur in love. Because the sophisticated person that loves understand I can dissect love from acceptance. That's a little more sophisticated in love. As instead of like being a dog and jumping on everybody and showing, you know how the dogs start getting nervous? They love you so much. Snoop is all over everybody. Snoop all over everybody. love, but not accept what they doing because you stand for Jesus. Kirk Franklin the same way. He'll make a funky groove with anybody, won't he? He'll make a funky groove with anybody, won't he? He'll make a funky groove, won't he? With anybody. You have to understand the difference between love and acceptance. I do not accept what what people do, but I can show love. But that's not good enough for people. I'm trying to show you the truth. And listen, if you talk to people and you say, okay, I'm gonna show you how this is true. You can show all love to a group of people that's gay, but you say I don't accept with the way you living. I guarantee you they'll forget all the love that you just gave them. I guarantee you they're going to hang on the fact that you said, I do not accept the lifestyle that you live. They're going to walk away. They're going to dismiss all the love, and that's going to be the problem. Because that's the main thing they want. See, it's psychology, higher psychology understands in America. I can't speak for nowhere else. What most of these gay people want is not love. They want acceptance. They want acceptance from other people. They want everyone to accept how they live. And that's not going to happen with a Christian. That's not going to happen. It's not love that they want. They want acceptance from people. They want people to accept the way they live. We're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to show love, not acceptance. And that's the big difference. As soon as you start writing books or whatever Snoop is doing, whatever that stuff he's doing over there, that's acceptance. Now you're in trouble with God. You ain't in trouble with me. You're in trouble with God. You can't be a voice of acceptance for homosexuality and lesbianism, and you don't get in trouble with God, buddy. And that goes for the rest of these Christian celebrities. You know, you're so rich, you know you want to love everybody. I understand. That's what money will do to you. Make you want to love. Hey, come on over here. Yeah, I love you. You're rich. That's why you like that. But I'm sorry to tell you, the Spirit of Jesus does not accept homosexuality and lesbianism as a lifestyle. You can't talk about what I'm doing. Listen, I'm clean. And see, this is what people hate. It don't matter what sin it is, when you become a Christian and you stop doing what you was doing and you speak out against it, they hate that. Because they feel like you don't got no business to do speaking out against it. Why I don't? Because if I'm not doing it, I do have the right. That's what gives me the right. Now that I've done it, now that I don't do it, I have the right to speak against it. Because I'm paying my dues. You ain't seen me with a man in years. Years now. Okay, so then I have the right to speak on that. From experience. And so you got to listen. That's just like anybody that was a drunk. A drunk gonna tell you, well, now listen, man, you can't drink no more. If you become a Christian, you can't drink no more. You can't do that. You can't be excessively drinking. You gonna think that's hypocrisy? No, it's not. That's a spirit changing his life. That's what it is. And it's obvious with his words he has changed. And that's the right spirit. People need to see the person that was doing it talking about not doing it. Hold up. People need to see the person that was doing it talking about not doing it. Oh, it's one thing you ain't never done it. So who you want to listen to in most cases? Who you think will be more effective in America? The person that has done it and not doing it no more and talking against it, or the person that ain't never done it? Whether it's drinking, smoking, weed, everything. Okay, you don't see the person doing it no more, right? You're going to listen to that person. You ain't going to listen to a person that ain't never smoked. Who's going to be more effective? Verbally. Well, let's say from experience. From life experiences, who's going to be more effective? The person that did it, man. And they going to have to speak out and tell you, I don't do it no more. But, and this is why. Here's why. Because God is not pleased with it. Okay? And then and a simple-minded person gonna say, well, you used to do it. Exactly. Past tense. Used to do it. That's what a Christian is supposed to be saying. They used to do it. You stating the obvious. You're Captain Obvious, aren't you? You're Captain Obvious. Yeah, past tense. Used to do it. Okay? And you can be an ignorant little, like a little ignorant little girl or ignorant little boy and keep talking about something, but all you're doing is showing people how your level of maturity. All you're doing is showing your level of maturity. You talking about something that somebody doing and it's years ago. You in the past talking about something they did years ago. Yeah. Who respects that? Nobody. Who thinks you're a grown woman out here? Nobody. Nobody thinks you're a grown woman or a man. You're not a grown man or woman to me. Talking about what somebody else done years ago. If it's more than 1 year, it's years ago. More than one means it's plural. So you have to say years after 1 year, right? Okay. Years ago. See, while you wasn't paying attention, I was getting myself clean. While you wasn't paying attention, I was getting myself together. While you was in the goofiness, and see, that's why your own people hate you, because they feel like, why y'all let him get away with that? How y'all let him go years without being gay? And so what we been doing? Exactly. That's my point. You've been talking about me being gay. You've been talking about whatever else you talk about. But yet here we are years later. Make that make sense. Where they been at? Where they been? Ask yourself, where they been? Playing games, stir crazy, bro. The term is stir crazy. They been stir crazy, ain't they? You know how a dog goes in a frenzy and start running around? That's how they been, bro. Meanwhile, it's been years since I stopped smoking. It's been years since I stopped smoking weed. That's what I'm saying. So then what you gonna say? Oh, down to his thoughts, God ain't gonna play no games, bro. That's all I'm saying, bro. God ain't gonna play no games with you. See, that's how you need to hear it right there. Because it's a clown spirit that think it's gonna play with you and you ain't out here doing nothing, bro. That's a clown. That ain't no real man. We don't esteem you as a real man. Okay, yeah, no, we don't. Okay, no, we don't. It's a hypocrisy spirit. It's a spirit of hypocrisy. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, I can prove you doing these things in America. So we don't care nothing about some random person. So what? Who cares about that random person? Who cares? Who are they? We don't care about them. We don't care about them. We care about, a smart person cares about what your community is doing. In New York, used to be marrying children, right? Yeah, but you seen the prophet coming and you got rid of it. That's the only reason. Because I started talking about the age of consent in 2020. All of a sudden, New York got rid of child marriage. That's the only reason. Well, you tell me what's the reason out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, you wind up getting rid of it for what? What provoked it? Well, you know what provoked it? Me talking about the ages of consent down in Florida. Oh, New York was watching. That's how I know you was watching. But the damage is done. You've been marrying children this whole time. You've been marrying children this whole time. Yes, you have. All through the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. How New York gonna stand up talking about some pedophiles? Buddy, listen, New York been marrying children, child marriage in New York for the whole time. Now you see how bad it is. New York can't say nothing to me. What New York gonna say? You can talk to these dumb people out here who still got the other image of America, who don't got the real image of America. You can talk to them dumb people. You can't talk to me. I know what New York been doing. New York been marrying children too. From 2011 to 2019, you had 385,496 cases of child marriage laws. Child marriage cases, excuse me. 385,496 cases of child marriage. Almost half a million children. And you talking to me about what? In New York? Man, stop playing with me. You a chump, man. I tell any New Yorker, you a chump. If you talk about child molesters and you talk about child marriage, you talk about child molesters and you got child marriage in New York, you a chump. You listen, you're ignorant chump to me. I tell any one of them that. Listen, man. New York ain't. Why? Because this is New York. You think you're the greatest? You the best? You the baddest? You're not. You're a human being, bro. A prophet gonna break you down to the real life. You a human. You a human out here slipping, talking about child molesters, but New York was marrying children. So won't you take you and your little children in the house and go on Google and find out about the history of child marriage? Won't you take your little children in the house and go educate your children on the weekend? Like now, educate them on the weekend about child marrying children in New York. The whole history of it. That's what you need to do. You pathetic. You got your little children out there. They so stupid they don't even know your country marrying children. You pathetic. You and your family is pathetic. Pathetic is not an evil word, you know. It describes a certain type of person. You are pathetic. Talking about child molesters, but New York was marrying children. Listen, man. Listen. I'm done with it, man. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. Now, for those who are still here, once we done cleared out the enemy, we done cleared these suckers out. Now we're going to talk about what we really doing right now. Okay? We done got rid of the masses now. We done set down the masses. We done set them down. Because you can't rise up on me. And I'm in my right mind. Yeah, like I am tonight, this evening. And you marrying children. You can't rise up against me, little buddy. I'm sorry to tell you. I'm sorry to tell you, little buddy. You can't rise up against me. Now you can rise up against these retarded people. These people that don't know no better. They IQ like 82. Okay, you can rise up against somebody with an IQ like 82, but listen, I'm over here with a full deck of cards in my head, buddy. I'm dealing with a full deck. I'm dealing with a full deck, buddy. You out here marrying children. Okay? Your country is, and New York was doing it. They done had fun with it. They done had decades of doing it. You don't even know where to start. You don't even know how to track this in New York. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying. You in the fallen world, and the prophet is the one. I come out the blue revealing the truth. That's what I'm supposed to do as a prophet. I'm supposed to come out the blue revealing the truth. That's what a prophet supposed to do. I come out the blue revealing the truth. That's what a prophet supposed to do. I'm supposed to have no long track record. Necessarily, well, oh yeah, we knew him back in the day. He been a preacher for 20 years. He been a preacher for 20 years. No. Many cases, I'm not saying every case, I'm going to come out of nowhere. I'm going to come out of nowhere. I'm talking about a real prophet. I'm going to come out of nowhere, buddy. Where he come from? You can't find the churches I came from, can you? Not really. Oh, you can find a little something going on, but you can't find nothing really, can you? See, listen, man, let me tell you something. I'm supposed to come out the blue revealing the truth to you. And you took it for granted. Listen, anybody else would have told you this information. I guarantee you would have had a whole different attitude. I guarantee you would have been more receptive of this information if somebody else told you that you liked that your country is marrying children in America. I guarantee you would have had. So that shows you not really about this life. And that's another checkmate. Because when we find out truthfully what the truth is, listen, buddy, you still there looking stupid, ain't you? You still looking stupid, ain't you? Well, I told you the truth. I told you. You want to talk about child molesters, right? Okay, I just told you. Your country marrying children. That's what you wanted to talk about, right? Okay, so we talked about it. We talked about it and you lost. We talked about it and you lost. So this message is going to be about what we're supposed to do now, what our position is now. Because I cleared out everything all this other stuff, all this foolishness that we don't care nothing about. We done cleared all of that out. Right? Now, we're talking about what we supposed to do in our spiritual position. And I'm going to keep talking about this. We supposed to play, as Christians, a whole different position that most people wouldn't even expect that we play. They wouldn't expect us to play this position. That's why they can't tell what I am. Because they don't have the word of God. That's why. If you had the word of God, it wouldn't be no mystery to you why I'm acting like this. If you knew the word of God, you would know, even when it comes to dealing with enemies, when we talk about love your enemies, that's a certain type of enemy. That if your enemies are consistently against you, how are you supposed to love him? You want me to give you an example? The Bible says with Jeremiah, do not pray. Jeremiah, the 11th chapter, the 14th verse, I think. Jeremiah, don't pray for these people. Don't cry for them. Okay, you could consider them enemies. But God told him not to do. God told him not to pray for them. Don't cry for them. Okay. Wouldn't it be safe to say they some type of enemy? But foundationally, when God tells his people to go to war, is that a time of loving your enemies? I can show you all throughout the Old Testament. I'm talking about really people that want to be sharp, that's sharp on their game. That look at the Bible not as a cloud nine. I'm talking about really like people who study the Bible with spirituality and anointing and as a historian. You looking at this word like history. You ain't on cloud nine reading the Bible. You looking at it like history. Okay, so when you look at it like history, you see all these wars in the Bible. How in the world are you going to tell me we don't fight against flesh and blood? I can see if it was no wars in the Bible, but it is. So then what you want me to do with that information? Oh, suppress it like that ain't what we supposed to do with our enemies. See, in some cases, we supposed to go to war with our enemies. And I'm going to tell you what it is. When somebody is consistently against you, you got to go to war with that spirit. It ain't no time of just loving them. That's people at your job. That's a different type of enemy. Enemies, there's a spectrum of different type of enemies. All enemies are not created equal. You got some enemies that'll make you lose your job. You got some enemies out here that's in politics. You got enemies that's in your family. That's 3 different type of enemies already. Enemies in politics. Enemies that is on your job. Enemies in your family. And enemies on the streets with guns. That's 4 different type of enemies, right? That's 4 right there already. I guarantee you there's different scriptures that apply to different enemies. How I know this is because I see where God allowed his people to go to war with enemies. So obviously there's a different application to each type of enemy. Oh, that's it right there. That's 7 out. There's a different application to different enemies. And you just use love your enemies like that's an application for every enemy. No, it's not. No, it's not. How I know for sure? How I know for sure is because when I look in this Bible, I see wars all through the Bible. So obviously love wasn't the application. See, listen. I study the Bible like a historian, buddy. I don't get on cloud 9 and read the Bible like it's a Ouija board. Well, let me see right here, and let me go right there, and you know what I'm saying? I study this Bible, this word, like it's history, like it's real life history, where I ain't on cloud 9, just love and just nah, buddy. Sometimes people gotta go, bro. People gotta die. And you thought it was me, but it's gonna be them. It ain't no games being played, bro. So then what else? That's what I'm saying. There ain't nothing else to talk about. They playing games, bro. They not men or women, and that's that, bro. See, what you didn't realize about me, because probably you heard all these things about me, I've been raised by masculine men. I ain't been raised by no pushover men. That's why I move like I move, and you misinterpret my masculinity for thug life or gangsters. And because I'm black, you cannot discern the difference between masculinity, healthy masculinity, in thug life and gangsterisms. This is me as a real man. I'm not letting nobody play with me, and you ain't got no charges on me, and your country marrying children. That's all I'm saying. Listen, buddy. Listen, there ain't nothing else to talk about. We either gonna go to war or we not. That's that simple, bro. It's that simple. See, a man gonna make it that simple. It's that simple. We gonna go to war or we not. You gonna act like a chump or you not. Cause ain't no way in the world you gonna play with me and your country marrying children. See, you a clown. That's what happened to you. You became a clown. You became a clown, buddy. I don't know what you used to be, but you became a clown. That's all it is to it. I would have never thought the time I would have seen black people become clowns. I would have never thought I would have seen the day. We finally see the day where black people became clowns, bro. Look at the games they playing, bro. What else you want me to say? It ain't all black people, no, but I would have never thought the day I would have seen them be a clown like that, in a clown position. You ain't gonna never see me like that. You ain't gonna never see me looking like that. Like I owe people an explanation why I played with another black man, and then you couldn't find no charges on him, and then in fact he winds up being a prophet. How does that happen? That's why you can't believe it. How can this guy that we was playing with wind up being a righteous man that's off limits? How can that be? Because you a clown. You want me to tell you why? Because you came out here playing with somebody. You came out here playing with somebody you did not know. That's what made you a clown right there. You didn't do your you didn't do your own homework. You came out here playing in the field. You didn't know what you was doing. That's what made you a clown, bro. And off the strength of being black, you thought that was gonna hold you up, and it didn't. And do it hold up all these other people in the grave that came out here playing with people? No. So what's the difference? They made the same mistake you made. They came out here on the strength of being black and got bodied. Man, listen, I want you to think about this. Half of these black people that come out here playing with other black people, guess what? Guess why they came out there like that? Because they thought being black, they could come out here like Superman on anybody, and they messed with the wrong black people, and they got bodied. That's all it takes every time, and it works every time, like a recipe for a cake. You put up the same recipe, you're gonna get the same type of cake every time. You come out here thinking you Superman playing around people. Listen, bro, you're gonna be put in the grave. It happens all the time. Why you think black people can do everything they want to do? They get bodied all the time. The same thugs, gangsters, everybody that you respect, dead. They get dead. They get bodied all the time. You can't come out here like that, bro. Somebody gonna pull your card. And this is no disrespect to Tupac, but look what happened to Tupac, man. You would have thought that would have been somebody else that killed Tupac. Tupac came and played with somebody that was a gangster in obscurity. Nobody even knew this person. This was a gangster in obscurity, meaning in darkness. This was a gangster in dark that nobody knew. This obscure gangster, and then he got killed by this guy that nobody knows. Ironically, you a famous gangster out here with a chip on your shoulder, like you got an S on your chest, and he got bodied. And it can happen to you. You can come out here like Tupac and you die like Tupac. I'm just keeping it real with you. And it's been a million people just like you. You come out here like Pac, you die like Pac. That's what comes with it. You can't say it's me. I take two. You don't even see me in the way. Everything I say is real and 100. You can't even paint me that way. I can paint you that way. You came out here, you thought you was for sure, you can play with me. You thought whatever about yourself, and you got bodied about it. You got bodied about it, buddy. You got bodied about it. You got bodied about it. That's what happens. Them people should have been a cautionary tale to you. Look what happened to Tupac. Instead, you go and act like him and die like him. That's what happened to you. You come out here like Pac, you're gonna die like Pac. That's what happens. You can't come out here like that, man. In the world we live in, 2026, ain't nobody playing no games. See, what you forget is I ain't been in one spot for 30 years like some of these funky New Yorkers. You've been in the same spot for 30 years, man. You meet with me, which means you ain't even seen the other cultures. You ain't seen other communities in America. I done been all around the community. I done seen, that's why I'm like this. You've been funky in the same spot for 30 years. That's all I'm saying, man. It ain't nobody, which means people think just like I do. Ain't nobody playing no games, bro. And you can't say you think the same way. You're full of clown games. I can show you people outside of secret societies here in New York still full of clown games. It ain't just them, it's you too. It's you too for joining them. It's you too for trying to play games. You part of them. You part of the clownery. You part of the clownery and you don't want to accept it. See, I would have never came out here about no kids. I don't care that much. Man, listen, bro. Ain't no street people I know that gonna come out here and ain't no charges on this person. That goes against our morals and ethics. Ain't nobody gonna do that. But when you put your feelings into it and you put your emotions into it, like I was against black people, but you didn't know what to happen, then you just thought to do whatever. See, that's what happened to you. You just thought to do whatever. You came because you heard, oh, he against black people, then you just thought to do whatever. It don't work. Listen, buddy, you don't get to keep your morals and ethics because you thought to just do whatever. Because he ain't like black people. Listen, I don't lose my ethics and street credibility because black people against me. Make sense? So if it was me and you was against me and they told me whatever, I'm still not gonna go out of character of my street intuition and my street rules and regulations. If they ain't got no charges on this dude, I don't care how much I don't like him. I'm not gonna come out here playing no games. See, so that's the truth, man. You broke your morals and ethics and everything. You think you're still really, hey, you're not. You know, that's just what it is, man. You know, and you know, you can't have your cake and eat it too, just like the Americans. You can't marry children, talking about child molesters, man. And you another one. You can't come out here breaking street rules, and you know you ain't got no rules and you ain't got no charges on this person. You ain't got a speck of information on this person that's credible in the context of what you talk about. And so you can't come out here playing and thinking everybody gonna give you the same credibility. You don't got that no more. You don't got that same credibility. So I don't care how you move around. It don't matter. That's just like a little kid. A little kid can act hard and act like whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they're going to do. I'm going to look at you like a little kid. Acting like you're still hard, acting like you're still gangster, whatever. That's what kids going to do. I mean, but we know what's really going on. Like Tupac said, you and I know what's going on. You know what's going on? Yeah. He said it on Against All Odds. Listen, you and I know what's going on, right? You know what I'm saying? You know what's going on, man. It's payback. You know what I'm saying? It's payback. And it ain't, listen, you can say whatever you want to say. It's payback. That's all it is, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing else to understand. There ain't no misunderstanding about this. That's why I love my situation. Cause ain't nobody saying, well, let's break it down, what the politics is, and then you don't really know, walk away, you don't really know. Nah, you do really know. These people came out here and played with an innocent person. That's it, bruh. You couldn't lock me up. You couldn't arrest me. Okay, then. Okay, so then I don't care about street justice. I mean street justice with street wars, with real wars, all the way to World War III. That's what I do. You call yourself from that world star hip hop generation? You want to be world star doing street justice? That's what they heard the first term. That's what they heard the term in the first place. Listen, man. Listen. You can come out here and try to get street justice. You can come out here and try to get street justice. And you're going to get this whole country body. That's what happened to you. You can get mad all you want. I'm not your plaything, buddy. I proved that with your country. I proved that with the condition of your country. It's one thing to say I'm not a plaything. It's another thing to prove it. I proved I'm not no plaything. So all you doing is playing yourself, acting like you still playing with me, because everybody know I ain't no plaything. And you can take it. I mean, listen, man. It's one thing to act like you bad. It's another thing to really be tough. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Like, I live in the real world. You grew up on hip hop. Listen. You gonna wind up living like Pac and dying like Pac, man. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. You gonna be that type of black person. You're gonna try to live like Pac, be all out here and all out there, all out the window, and you're gonna get bodied like Pac, bro. That's all I'm saying, bro. And that's no disrespect to him, but it's a cautionary tale. You know what I'm saying? You got to take what come with it. You think it's me? It's not me. I'm more like Biggie in this situation. I'm sitting back letting everybody say what they want to say. But people think I move like Pac. They'll think I talk like him and maybe look like him a little bit. But listen, man. Listen, that's what that is. That is what it is. I don't stick to no corniness, like, cause that's how it looks. Nah, I move more like Biggie. I move more like Biggie, man, because Biggie sat back and let Pac say everything. He sat back and let him say all the stuff he was saying. I'm doing the same thing with America. I'm doing the same thing with these black people. So you can say I look and look whatever, but I move like Biggie. Know what I'm saying? I move like Biggie. I don't move like Pac. I move like Biggie. I'm going to let all y'all say what all y'all want to say, but at the end of the day, guess what, buddy? Listen, man, listen. You done played yourself, man. I let you sit back and play yourself. That's just how Pac did. Biggie let Pac play himself till he got killed. You telling me he didn't play himself? Of course he did. He played himself. Think he could put hands on anybody coming out here and putting hands on? Who gonna do that? Because you know you're gonna get arrested. I'm surprised he didn't get arrested. I'm surprised none of them got arrested before they left the casino. These days, that wouldn't have happened. These days, you beat somebody down in a casino like that, man, you ain't getting out the building. You are not getting out that building. Think about that. Nobody never said that. How he get out the building? Because they turned a blind eye. That's what it was. That's what it was. They turned a blind eye. That's all. Because these days, I guarantee you go to that same, wherever they was at, ain't no way in the world you're going to beat somebody down. They're going to beef it up because that happened. Because that happened, they're going to make sure anybody doing anything like that. Listen, you ain't getting out that building, buddy. You ain't getting out that building. Trying to beat somebody down and you know what I'm saying? You know, you can't even get out the building doing none of that. You know what I'm saying? You live that life, you take what come with it. And you don't see it that way, but we do. You came out here like Pac, all live and all running around, rah-rah and all of that stuff, thinking you can be a gangster, you're trying to wild out on me, and now you playing yourself. I sat back like Biggie. Okay, say whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? So-called beef with you know who. You know what I'm saying? So-called beef with these secret societies and all of this, man. Come on, man. Listen, bro. I sat back just like Biggie. So-called beef with you know who. Right? Come on, man. Listen, bro. Listen, this so-called beef. This is so-called beef, bro. That's all I'm saying. Listen, man. Listen, I took care of my business. And you done played yourself like Pac. And I sat back like Biggie. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? You got all the mouth. You got all the rah-rah. You might, even if you ain't, you know, that's what I'm saying. Walk around like they Pac. Even these gay dudes trying to walk around like Pac. And you gonna play yourself, bro. Because when you play that position, you got to take everything that come with it. See, that's what these lame gay dudes that try me don't know. Okay, you act like Pac. You got to take everything that come with it. You got to take everything that come with it. You don't get to play. See, that's what a lame nigga don't understand. You play these positions, but you got to take what come with those positions. And just like Pac did, he couldn't have played that position and just be all wild like that, and then and he ain't gonna run into no problems. You know what I'm saying? I don't run into problems because people understand exactly where I come from. See, a stupid person think, oh, this dude is just what? I'm telling you how it is. I'm telling you how it is, and I stand up for myself like a man. That's you. If you're real, you can't misinterpret that. for some rah-rah dude. This ain't rah-rah. This talking politics. You in the 20th century, ain't you? Well, all these podcasters out here, I mean, that's all people do is talk politics. That's all we do is talk politics now. In the history of everything that happened. What's the difference? Ain't no difference. I ain't no different than nobody doing a podcast talking about these real issues and talking about these real problems. That's it. That's all we doing. You know what I'm saying? So that ain't rah-rah. That ain't rah-rah at all. Rah-rah is when you a dog with no bite. Like these dudes out here acting like they won't smoke. And you know what I'm saying? We know better, you know. Like this dude on the other side of this building. Sitting up here talking about I ain't check him. I did check him. If I come to you and I say something to you and you don't say nothing back and you making all this noise in the building and I come to your door and you look me in my face and you say nothing and I'll tell you, yo, I look you in your face and tell you, yo, turn down, stop all the slamming the doors. I tell you that right in your face, not on the side, not to, right in your face, bro. How you didn't get checked? Oh, I guess you don't know the difference between how a real man check people and a gay person check people. Oh, I guess you expected me to have all this attitude and snapping and all of that. Nah, I'm gonna slide up on you real good and nice, and I'm gonna check you like a real man. I'm gonna stick right to the subject. I'm gonna check you right like a real man. And if you really listen, even if you was really built like that, you would have snapped right then. That even if I'm checking you like a real man, you would have snapped right then. You didn't. You didn't. Okay, so then for most people's standard, that's getting checked if you don't know in the real world. Because if you was doing, we know you was doing it on purpose anyway. Like you wanted smoke. Okay, that was your opportunity. So why you ain't say nothing? If you wanted smoke, then why you ain't say nothing? That's all I'm saying, bro. That's what I call that a fake pull up. You fake pulling up, bro. You pulling up on me, but it's fake. That's all I'm saying. And then people act like they holding him back. Holding him back? I already talked to him face to face. You ain't got to hold him back. Yeah, you scared of him, I'm not. I'm just not going to put myself in no situation, bro, where people trying to get me locked up. And that's all. And that's what I look at. Oh, by the way, this is how we know this person fake. Okay, how this person going to speak to me after that happened? Yeah, he did. I turned my head and he talking about, hey. That was a couple days after that, 3 or 4 or 5 days after that. I turned around, he talking about, hey. And now when I go to wherever I went, now I'm thinking, oh, okay, this person's a joke, man. I ain't taking this person seriously, bro. You know what I'm saying? But they still trying to stick to this role at the same time after that. And is it my fault? No, it ain't my fault. You know when you've been checked because you can't come back from it. See, when you've been checked properly, you can't come back from it. Hold up, better to say this. If I check you and you fake, you can't come back from it. You can't. Ain't nothing you can do. It's already done. It's already done. You can't. It's all you're gonna do. I'm gonna tell you what the lame gonna do. All the lame is gonna do is try to save face. That's all they're gonna do. They're going to try to save face over and over again, but what is done is done. You had your chance. I slid right up on you, but you wasn't ready. And see, and what they say, if you already ready, you don't got to get ready. See, if you was ready, if you really was 100, listen, you would snap as soon as it happens. You would snap at any time. I snap at any time, bro. In 2026, I snap at any time. Okay, so I caught you slipping right there, and you ain't say nothing. If you was built like that, you would have said something. You ain't say nothing. So that's that, bro. And that's why I'm saying. Once you go past that, like I said, I treat this person like a citizen. I treat you like a citizen, which means I'll call the police to get you out the way. So you can go to a correctional facility among real thugs and gangsters, among people that you think you are. And you can see the difference between you and them. That's how you get corrected. I send people like that to a facility, a correctional facility, man. Not snitching or nothing like that. That ain't snitching to me. Because you're a citizen. That's just like a woman. You can't play street politics with a woman. If a woman want to fight you, what you gonna do? You gotta call the police. You can't fight. Listen, in most cases, keep it real though. You can't fight no woman, can you? So then if she want all the smoke, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Most dudes gonna say, okay, you do whatever, okay, but then you gonna be in jail, bro. You gonna take L's, man, like a teenager. I'm not taking L's like no teenager, bro. No. You starting to respect people that do this. You start to respect people that call the police. Look at the baby, the rapper the baby. What did he do? He called the police on his baby mama, didn't he? Oh, everybody seen that on live. Did he not call the police on his baby mother? And had himself on live saying, you ain't gonna treat me like these other black dudes and these other dudes. See, I see stuff y'all don't know I see. God is always gonna keep me relevant, bro. I'm always be relevant. Didn't the baby call the police? So it's a difference between calling the police and snitching and making and arresting somebody because they're a citizen. That ain't no thug. So if it was a thug, he wouldn't have called the police. No, he wouldn't, because he could have regulated like a thug, right? Right. If you can't regulate like a thug, what you gonna do? When I know this person is gay and everything, and I done pulled up on him already, but he's still acting like he won't smoke, what I'm gonna do? I gotta treat you like a female, man. Well, you rah-rah talking all that and all of that, but we know, and you and I know what's going on, like Pac said. I already stepped to you. If you was 100, you would have said something right then. You ain't gotta get ready. You ain't gotta pump yourself up. If you would have said something right then. You would have said, yo, who you think you're talking to? You ain't say nothing. And that's what we don't. Listen, man. Listen, I addressed the person that wanted smoke, bro. That's all I'm saying. And I did it like a man. That's why he couldn't say nothing. That's why he couldn't say nothing after that. Because when you get checked like a man, also, it ain't nothing you can say. See, that's the difference between checking people like gangsters and checking people like real men. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, bro. People had an opportunity. See, this is why God chose people like me, right? For this generation. I'm not taking nothing off these people, bro. I'm not taking nothing. See, as a regular Christian, you would have been dragged. You'd be still in another room letting this person call you a pedophile from the other room. Yeah, man, I'm not going through that, and I already checked you on top of that. No. That's why I ain't got nothing to prove to sit there and say, I can act like listen, I got the mind and the build of somebody that could be locked up in prison. I could take everything you do and walk through it. But why would I do that? When I already checked you, I don't see that as my throne. That ain't my throne. I was already leaving anyway. Because they told me in March I would have an apartment. Here we are past March. Why they holding me on? I've been here how many months? 5 months. Man, listen, man. I've been through Haza for 9 months. We going back to the source, not this building. The source. I've been in this building waiting for housing 9 months. The first time I got the house in less than 3 months. How you telling me through any problems that it takes the difference is between 2 months to 9 months? That don't even sound right. That now you used to give out apartments less than 3 months, but now it's 3 times more than that, 9 months. I don't believe that. I believe they kept me in this situation on purpose to play psychological games in this building and in this community, and that's what they did. They kept me in this situation on purpose, man, is what I'm telling you. Which means HASA as an organization is the enemy of God's kingdom. Oh, well, yeah. That's what we take it to. Just like if you're dealing with a Crip in the blood and there was Haza, they don't care nothing about you being old. If you was old, you should have been out the way. If you were so much of a citizen out the way, then I shouldn't be talking about this. That's my justification when it's people that you don't think should be in drama on the streets. Well, why they in the drama on the streets then? If they shouldn't be in it, then why are they in it? If they shouldn't be in it, why are they in it then? I make people look stupid. If you don't supposed to be in drama, we don't supposed to acknowledge you like that, then why are you over here? That's all I'm saying, bro. People think I'm fat. Listen, I don't know what made you think I'm fake. I done been through so many places. That's why, listen, I move like I move, bro. Once I check that person, it ain't no need to talk. It ain't no need to talk no more, bro. Then he gonna overhear me talking about, oh, you ain't check me at all. How I didn't check you? And I talked to you right face to face, and your energy was totally different than what we hear when we close doors. Behind closed doors, your energy is totally different. You throwing bottles, you throwing everything. When I talked to you face to face, you didn't say nothing, bruh. Yo, and what make it so bad, he opened the door and closed the door, opened it over and over again, and didn't say nothing. I can't listen, bro. Listen. You tell me what that is. That ain't no real person to me. If I want to smoke with you, because I know he was doing it on purpose, I'm smart enough to know you was doing it on purpose. But if I was in that position and I was doing this on purpose against you, and you stepped to me, I ain't gonna say nothing. And I'm acting like I want all the smoke and everything, but then I step to this person and nothing happens. That's the bottom line. Nothing happened. You tell me why nothing happened. Because he not built like that, bro. That's all I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Yeah, man, that's all I'm saying, bro. That's gay rah-rah. Hey, that's gay rah-rah, bro. He got that gay rah-rah, don't he? That's that gay rah-rah. Hey, you can use that for yourself. He got that gay rah-rah, don't he? You know the type. All that snapping and sending fingers and doing stuff for girls. Oh, they love. Don't let a girl come around. Oh, they love to show out for girls. But we know you won't say that directly to my face, don't we? You ain't never do it. And that's my complaint for everybody that ever says something. You ain't never say it to my face directly, like me and you having a conversation. When you see me, you don't say nothing. But if I'm behind a closed door, or I can't really say it's you on technicality, right? Where you could go talk to the cops and say, well, he didn't see, I was in the other room. He was in the other room. And when you see me the other time, I was armed. That's all I'm saying, bruh. He's sitting there talking about, I ain't checked nothing, and I'm armed right then. That's all I'm saying, bro. What would you say? I'm armed while I'm talking to somebody else about the situation. He comes up saying, oh, I didn't check him. But I'm armed while you saying that. You don't realize the danger you in, bro. That's all I'm saying. Now I'm done with it. Because I checked you like a real man. I'm done with it. Once I check you like that, I win. That's it. Because to me, you ain't in my weight class. If I wanted problems with you, I would have said something. I'll give you a perfect example. Like, I was living with two military dudes, right? I'm just showing y'all how to do this and separate these busters and these gay rah-rah from the real dudes. You know what I'm saying? I was living with these military dudes. I live with two military dudes. And I'm talking to the man of the house. There's another military dude that's way younger than me. And he a dirty dude, he a trifling dude, or whatever. Now, this is real life. I'm living with two military men that served in the military, did real tours, killed real people, right? They did real tours, they killed real people. Okay? One was a veteran for Vietnam, the Vietnam War. The other one was a veteran for the Iraq War. Okay? Which was the younger guy, which makes sense. Okay? So, the younger veteran took and flooded out the bathroom where the water was up off the floor in the bathroom. Like 2 inches of water. Like that. And left it and didn't do nothing about it. So when I came home the next day, back to where I was staying, I'm in the kitchen in the morning talking about it with the man of the house. It's his house. It's his apartment. So me and him talking about it, and he overhears us as he's walking by. I'm not hiding nothing. So he asked me as he was walking by, are you talking to me? You know what I said? Yes, I'm talking to you. Right to his face, I said it. That's how you check people. I said it right. This is a veteran. I said it right to his face, and then after that, I offered him to a fight out in the backyard. That's how I'm built, buddy. And then he did just like you try to do. He tried to save face. He gonna come back to me talking about, oh yeah, man, you know, if it was really a problem, you know, I would have just slung you, pushed you over on the wall or something. Bro, you been checked by a real man. That's all it is. See, I got married when I was real young. When I grew a backbone as a man real young, buddy. That's what you don't know about me. No pun intended. I grew a backbone as a real man at a very young age. That's what you don't. That's another thing you don't know about me. Oh, because a woman to make a man out of you. A woman will make a man out of you. You got to deal with a real woman, and you responsible for this person and not hurting this person. And you got to learn patience, and you got to learn to talk to people, and you got to learn that part. That's why I'm like this. That's why I don't always jump off my instinct on people, because I've been a married man. Once you've been a married man, you can't go off of your feelings. You can't go off of, you learn self-control. That's real. But I'm going to check you like a real man, and you know you've been checked properly. You can say whatever you want, but listen, you know deep within yourself you ain't say nothing, and that's what you're going to be hanging on to for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life, you're going to be hanging on to the fact you ain't say nothing. That's that. That's what it is. That's how you ain't say nothing to me. I stepped right to you. There wasn't nobody there. I wasn't nobody in your way. I wasn't with nobody else. I could see if I was with the management. I could see if I was with somebody else. Then you close the door, right? It was just me and you. See, that's just like Biggie. Biggie stepped to Pac by theyself. Biggie was like, oh, what's going on with all this stuff, man? Pac talking about, I'm trying to sell records. That's what Biggie said. Pac talking about he trying to sell records. That was Pac's lamest moment. If you Tupac fans don't know Tupac's lamest moment, is when Biggie Smalls approached Pac and about all this drama and beef. He approached him like a man by himself, right? Biggie tells the story that Pac said, I'm just trying to sell records. But you supposed to be Pac and all this energy and all jumping around and running around and everything. But when Biggie pulled up on you, you talking about you just trying to sell records. That ain't a lame moment. I'm surprised none of y'all ain't talking about. I'm surprised the streets ain't never talk about. That was the lamest moment of Tupac right there. And then you can't say I'm nitpicking. It was a big moment. Like, this is the dude you talking about all the time. Yeah. So it ain't like, I'm just nitpicking Tupac. I'm just nitpicking. I'm critiquing Tupac. I just want to criticize Tupac. Nah, that was your biggest moment. That was this dude that you had all these problems with. You finally see him and you tell him you trying to sell records. Yo, come on, bruh. Come on, man. Come on, bruh. Come on, man. Come on. That's the lamest moment, bruh. That's what I'm trying to show you, man. People energy be totally different when you see them in person. That's like when that person was throwing stuff all around the whole place where I was living. Okay, but then when I came and confronted you to the door, you know what I'm saying, armed, he looked and seen I was armed. You ain't say nothing. I ain't even know what he looked like. I ain't even know. So you can't say it's personal because I ain't even seen the person before that. That was the first time I seen the person. So it worked out so good. You can't even say I personalized it towards you. I ain't even know what you looked like. So you can't say I just did it because I ain't like him or something like that, or he was gay. I ain't know who it was. I ain't know it was even a gay dude. It could have been a straight dude. He could have been a big old dude. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know how big he was or nothing. That's what I'm trying to show you. He could have been 6'5", 300 pounds. I didn't know who he was behind the door. That's a real dude. I'm gonna confront whoever it is. That's how I am this day. That's how I am today. I'm a real soldier, bro. I'm I'm not in la world, bro. I'm a real Christian man, and I'm a warrior. I'm a soldier. Soldiers gonna relate to me. They ain't gonna relate to some of these other Christians because you don't deal with real situations and conflicts. You don't know how to correct people as a real man. Sometimes, bro, you gotta stop getting smacked around and you gotta correct people. You can't let people just sit around and play with you. God, see, that's what I'm saying. It's an art to this. It's an art to this, bruh. Where you not trying to be a gangster, you correcting people as a real man, bruh. On your manhood, on your self-respect. Imagine me trying to be gangster. That's not what it is. Man, you think I'm going to play myself and act like I'm a gangster and I ain't in the streets? I'm not in the streets. How am I a gangster? I'm too smart to play that role, bruh. I'm not in the streets. How am I a gangster? I ain't gonna never. Listen. I done crimes, right? I know the difference. If I'm got a mindset to do crimes. Or if I'm not, right? I'm not doing any crimes. Right? So you can't say that's where it's coming from. You misreading it. That's all it is. I'm real and you don't know the difference. Being real don't mean I'm a gangster in the streets. See that part? See that part? Me being an armed man, I can show you plenty armed men that are not gangsters. I can show you many armed black men that's gonna talk just like this and they not in the streets. Man, you can listen, man. Listen, I just said a mouthful right there. I can show you many, because the culture we come from, we ain't gonna take nothing off nobody. What about that culture? Besides the gang culture, besides the gangster culture, besides the gangster culture, what about the black culture that ain't taking nothing off nobody? You just a real man. You just ain't playing no games. What about that? Outside of being a gangster. What about playing no games outside of being a gangster, bro? That's all I'm saying. People are simple-minded, bro. That's all it is. People simple-minded. That's all I'm saying. That's why I don't bring white people in to try to see what it is, man. I bring real men. A real man gonna know another real man. If I check you about the noise, and I come to you, but we know you're doing it on purpose. We know you're throwing bottles and glass because you mad these secret societies lost. You mad America lost. All of that, right? You mad about it, right? So you throwing bottles, this person throwing glass and bottles everywhere, knocking on my walls, everything, just trying to bug me, right? Okay, using witchcraft, keep that in mind. Mind reading, witchcraft, all that stuff. Now, once I slid up on you just right, when you was in the bathroom, you ain't say nothing. But you the same person knocking on, you want all the smoke. I seen you. They will make it so bad. When you open the door more than one time, that made it worse. They ain't make it better. If you would have closed the door one time, okay, you just ignored it. You open the door again and didn't say nothing. You open the door 3 times and didn't say nothing to me. Come on, man, come on. You just looking and opening the door and looking. Meanwhile, I'm armed right there at that time. And what you think would have happened? If I'm armed right there, what you think would have happened? You can't see. One thing I've learned: when something doesn't happen during an altercation, but you're armed, you can't ever you can never say what exactly would have happened. You can't ever say how a fight exactly would go. You ain't gonna never be able to say that. You can't say, oh, he would have hit him 3 times and knocked him out. You can't say what would have happened. So if I got a weapon, you can't say, oh, he would have done this, he would have done that. You don't know what would have happened. All we know is I was armed, right? That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, bro. And then you can't personalize it because I ain't never seen the person. And I ain't saying that out of fear or whatever. I'm just saying I ain't never see you. So you can't say, oh, it's because of me. It's because of anybody. I would have done that to anybody. I would have done that to anybody. And that's the difference. It's on principle. You come into somebody's quarters, kicking stuff around, and we realize you're doing it on purpose. Nah, bro. Listen. I bowed out gracefully. I just came to another side. You know what I'm saying? Some people say, man, I wouldn't have left. Nah, bro. Because listen, that person is like a female. If I this is a transsexual person wearing wigs and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Dressing like a woman. You see what I'm saying? If I do something to that person, people gonna act like, yo, you should have chilled. You shouldn't have done. You know what I'm saying? You're a bully, man. You shouldn't. You see that's a person as a gay person. So then why they in my lane playing with me then? So I can't win for losing in that situation. I would have to remove myself. I would have to listen. I can't win for losing in that situation. No, the police came and was halfway on their side the first time. On his side, like as if I was the person that was the problem. You know what I'm saying? The management here didn't even do nothing until I forced myself into the situation. They already seen the police was called. Why didn't they move the person? That's how stuff could have got started. If I was reckless, something could have happened. And something could have happened because once the police came twice, why wasn't he moved to a different room? I had to remove myself for it to happen. You can't say I'm a coward. You can't say listen, man, I move like a grown man, bro. That's all I'm saying. See, I learned this also about black people, man. Let me tell you something. It's a certain level of how I put this. It's a certain level of testing people and trying to see if somebody real that is like how you used to be when you was a teenager. For most of us, I don't care about being real, bro. You know what I care about? I care about carrying my arms and anybody try me can get it. Whether you think I move like a bozo, a fake dude, or whatever. I can show you people that's in the military who you would size up as a nerd, right? You think this person is a punk or whatever. But this person is an armed person. It don't matter how they moving and looking. This person is armed. And if you and anybody can tell you, if you try this person good enough and he's been armed for X amount of time and he feel like you trying to hurt him, what you think he gonna do with his weapons? That's why you can't say what somebody gonna do. You can't say that. You can't. Every time is different, and for every reason something is different in every situation. You can't say what I would have done. I can't tell you what I would have done because it's just everybody who's been in altercations know what I'm talking about. You might snap at at certain things or for certain reasons, or you might not even pull a weapon. You might beat the person up. I don't know what you can never say. You can never say what'll happen. All you know is what a person is ready for. And when you see a person is ready and they got weapons, listen, man, you assume the worst before you assume they would do nothing. That's how you're supposed to be. If a person got a gun, you're going to assume they will do nothing with the gun. If a person is strapped, you assume they would do nothing. It's the same thing. What's the difference? If a person's strapped with a pistol, you assume that nothing won't happen. You assume they won't shoot you. You assume that first, or you assume the worst. I guarantee you're going to assume the worst. You're going to assume the worst, that you might get shot playing with this person. Okay, so if I have any kind of weapon on principle, what do you assume? What do you assume, bro? That's all I'm saying. You assume the worst. I don't know what this person will do. That's how I am. That's why I don't listen. That's why I come out of every situation unscathed, because I don't underestimate people. Did I say I underestimated that person? Did I say that? Or did you hear anything that make you seem like that it made it seem like I underestimated this person? Nope. I just told you what he did and what he didn't do. How is that underestimating the person? I didn't underestimate him because he was gay. I didn't underestimate him I don't underestimate people. That's why I'm always armed. If I'm unarmed, you underestimate. If you're unarmed, you underestimate me. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. If I'm armed, how do I underestimate you? If I consider you a joke, I'll walk around unarmed. I'm serious. I ain't nothing. I don't underestimate people, bro. People underestimate me and other people. You know what I'm saying? Listen, bro, I don't make those mistakes. See how I said that's high school? Can't you see why I say that? Even underestimating somebody is high school. When you in the real world, how you gonna underestimate somebody? You in the real world. These people crazy for all different types of reasons. Some people tell you I'm crazy for all these different types of reasons. How you gonna underestimate somebody? Well, you must not be scared to die. That's all it is. You must want to die. You must got a death wish. You must got a death wish, bro. Because in 2026, man, I don't doubt nobody. Let me tell you how I think. I don't doubt nobody, and I don't underestimate nobody. That's why I stay 100 with everybody. That's how you're supposed to be. You don't let your guard down. You keep the same politics. You keep the same 100 nature with everyone. That's how I do. I don't just think, oh, this person a chump right here. Maybe because for whatever reason. I keep it 100 with everybody, man, because that's my standard of living. That's how I live my life. That's how you're supposed to live. This is principles of a man. That's what people don't understand. This is principles of life. This is what we talk about. Nothing but life. Principles of life. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically it, man. Like, you know, so that's how I kicked it to that person. That's how it is, man. You know what I'm saying? And how I know I checked that person properly, because if he felt some type of way, he would have said something after that. He ain't say nothing. The next time he seen me and we seen each other, he spoke to me. How you speak to somebody that you got a problem with? Come on, bro. How you speak to somebody that you felt wronged you or something, that you bitter towards, that you feel like he said something out of pocket? Nah, listen, buddy, you got checked just right, because I'm a grown man. If I stick to the subject and you slamming doors, you ain't nothing you can say. What you gonna say to that? Ain't nothing you can say. I stuck right to the subject. I ain't say nothing else. I ain't call him out his name. I ain't say nothing else. That's how you get. See, that's why he thought he didn't get checked. But you did, based on your position. Because we know you was doing it on purpose. We know that. So then, based on you wanting smoke, how you ain't get checked? Based on you acting like you a problem for me, how you ain't get checked when I'm stepping to you, when I'm not the person that owns this building? But I'm telling you what it is. I overstepped my boundary at being a man. I don't run the building, but I'm a man. And when I put myself before you as a man, you couldn't clap back against it. Ain't nothing you can say. See, he got checked so good like a man, he didn't even realize it happened. Hey, he didn't even realize it happened. Because and the reason why, it wouldn't be, if you was just slamming doors for no apparent reason, then you could say, well, I don't feel like I was checked. I feel like he just said that. Right? But we know you was closing, you was slamming the doors to bother me and cause problems, right? So if I stepped to you and I told you to stop doing it, how you not checked, bro? That's all I'm saying. I can see if you wasn't really doing it towards me, but you was doing it towards me. So once you finally see me, I know you know it was me. Okay, you can see what direction I was coming from. If I was coming from the opposite direction of the door, you would have knew I was coming from the other side. You seen I was right there at the door, you knew where I was coming from. Okay, why ain't say nothing? And that same personality, you would think he would have said something to anybody, no matter who it was. He ain't say nothing to me. That's all I'm trying to show you. These people will not say nothing to your face. And for me, that's the only thing I take from childhood. If you can't say it to my face, don't say it at all, buddy. That's how I go. That's the only thing I take from childhood. If you can't say it to my face, don't say it at all. That's it. That's it. And so what I want America to know is none of these people ain't never called me no pedophile to my face. They ain't never called me no pedophile to my face. And ain't that funny? All these people act like they won't smoke, but they ain't never said it to your face. God knows the truth. God knows the truth. Nobody never looked me in my eyes on ground level, me and you, face to face, like in the real world, and you call me a pedophile to my face. Ain't no man ever done that. Ain't no man ever. Now you would think, as Brooklyn community, I've been ducking and hiding all these people, cause you see all the politics. So the first thing you gonna think, without just as a human being, oh, this person ducking and running and hiding. Nope. They ain't gonna tell you that. Not one time did somebody tell me to my face, like me and you having a conversation where I can audibly hear you, like a conversation audibly, right? No one on the value of an audible conversation between me and another person, somebody look me in my face and call me a pedophile. No. Not in this lifetime has it happened. Now, wouldn't you find that strange if you was me? All these people act like they want smoke, but ain't nobody stepped to me and said nothing. I done been through New York and everything, and they ain't said nothing to me. So would you take them seriously as a real man? No. Nope. Because if you wasn't playing the game and you was really concerned about children, then somebody should have stepped to me by now. Right? It's too late. It's too late now. It's too late. It don't matter. It don't matter anymore. Now, you know, it's what it is. We don't care about that no more. Because it's gone so far that you violated me, so it don't matter now. Your cause don't matter, in other words. Well, if you violate me, how your cause matter? We don't care nothing about your cause. We don't care nothing about what you was talking about. We don't care nothing about no children. And we ain't scared to die. See, that's the real soldiers. Well, I'm not scared to die. See, that's what comes with it. When I hear you say that out your mouth, I know you're in the real world. And some of these dudes, I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's the balance. I'm showing you the whole possible situation, all the outcomes. Well, I'm not scared to die. Now go listen to those who talk about they my enemies or whatever. They the ops. They trying to be the ops. They ain't gonna talk nothing about them dying, right? They ain't gonna talk nothing about them dying. They ain't gonna say they can die or they ain't scared to die because they don't think they can die. That's what it is. They don't think, they like many of these other black people who step out here with their ass on their chest and they don't think they can die. I ain't saying I couldn't die. I said I'm not scared to die. And that's the truth. I know I'm going to heaven. Listen, the only thing I fear is going to hell. That's the only thing I fear, buddy. You can't come back from that. You can't go try that out a little bit and see how you like it. You go to hell, buddy, it's over. It's over for eternity. That's the only thing I feel, buddy. Going to hell. I remember Jasmine Sullivan put that in one of her songs. Only thing I'm afraid of going to hell. You know what I'm saying? That's real. Like, that's one of the realest R&B singers I've heard, man. She put that in the R&B song, man. She afraid to go to hell or something. She's scared to go to hell, but she made it sound slick. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure she said that. But yeah, man, some people that like that's the only thing I fear is going to hell, bro. That's real. That's like, because you can't come back from that. You're gonna be tortured forever, and then you're gonna be in all this like suffocated place, like you suffocated or something. You stepped on. You ain't gonna feel comfortable ever. You ain't gonna ever feel comfortable, and it's gonna be like that forever. God ain't no joke, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, glory to His name, man. God is not no game, bro. If you listen, buddy, if you think you that bad when you can go to hell, you tripping. You tripping hard, buddy. You think about it. You thinking about it like these Americans, like you can go party in hell or something like that. Highway to hell, buddy. Listen. You know you tripping. You on a highway to hell. Them type of people, man. Listen. That's shock rock, man. You can't handle hell. As soon as you get there, it's gonna be like people say, you gonna instantly regret it. You go to hell and instantly regret it, bro. As soon as you splash on the hot waters of hell, buddy, listen, you instantly regret it. Foul smells, everything, creatures and all kind of stuff down there. It's real. It's real. I know it's real. I know God is real, and therefore I know hell is real, buddy. And we all know God is real. Look at everything that's happening. Okay, so how hell ain't real? Look at Adolf Hitler. You telling me he belongs in heaven? That's one of the persons you know deserve to go to hell. Okay, so you think he ain't in hell? Of course he is. Of course he's burning in hell, buddy. Okay then, so then the concept that everybody goes to heaven, he don't deserve to go to heaven. Adolf Hitler. He don't deserve to go to heaven, do he? Okay, so I'm pretty sure he's not there. And it's right for him not to be there. Okay, so then that's when all you gotta do is look at like people like that. Adolf Hitler, man, you know that person deserves to go to hell, man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Anytime you think nobody deserves to go to hell, all you gotta do is look at Adolf Hitler, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So, and it's a lot of other people that deserve to go too. You know what I'm saying? And then they gonna go. They are going to go. They think they gonna see in America. You think you're gonna do all this stuff and then magically repent? You can't play with God like that, bro. I promise you, it ain't gonna happen. I promise you, it ain't gonna happen like that. You gonna be, once you go so far, you gonna be in hell, bro. You can't listen. This is something that the master teachers in Christianity should go do a study on. When you do stuff like the patterns of the gang stalkers and everything like that, and you go down this pattern of just playing with people for years and years and years, I don't. It's some way you gonna be preserved for judgment. That God is gonna make it to where you just stay right there over there, and you get what you deserve, man. There's actually a scripture that talks about how God preserves the wicked for judgment. You can go Google it. It'll come up. Whatever the scripture I'm talking about, and I'm gonna study this too. It's a scripture that says God knows how to preserve the wicked for judgment. But the bottom line is, man, you could look at Jeremiah. When God told Jeremiah, don't pray for these people, you don't think that was preserving them for judgment? God told Jeremiah, don't pray for these people. Don't cry for them. And when they in trouble, I would not listen. Right? So you're telling me that's not being preserved for judgment? Where you went so far, guess what, buddy? My servant ain't gonna pray for you, and I'm not gonna help you when you're in trouble. You telling me that ain't going so far that you ain't gonna be helped? That's exactly what it is. Oh, come on, listen. You don't want to hear it, but it's true. Listen, you don't want to hear this, but it's true, bro. That's the scriptures. They went so far that they couldn't be, that God wasn't even listening to them, and He told His prophet not to pray for him. How you telling me you can just repent? Right there, you can see that they chose not to repent. But even when they tried to cry to God, He said He's not going to listen in a time of trouble. So some would think in the crying you're repenting. When you crying out to God, you're gonna be repenting with that. I think that, man, this is what I believe, and I'm gonna say it how I want to say it. You can't play with God, bro. You can't play God. You can't come out here and do what you want to do, and then when it's convenient for you, you want to come back to God. No. That's a clown, bro. That's what I'm trying to show you. This is Jeremiah, the 11th chapter, the 14th verse. Jeremiah, don't pray for these people. Don't cry or pray for them. God is telling His servant not to pray for them or cry for them. Jeremiah, don't pray for these people. Don't cry or pray for them. I won't listen when they call to me for help in times of trouble. God told Jeremiah, don't pray for him, don't cry for him. And when they call to me for help, I'm not gonna listen. God said He's not gonna listen. In they times of trouble, God said He ain't gonna listen. You telling me people can't go too far, and God made it clear right here, He's not gonna help them? That's the bottom line. The bottom line is, we can see in the scripture where God did not help a certain people. And we have to accept this. You can do stuff and God ain't listen. He ain't gonna listen to you in your times of trouble. He ain't gonna listen. When you call for help in times of trouble, God ain't gonna listen, bro. He told Jeremiah, don't pray for him, don't cry for him, don't even show emotion. This is what God said to him. Why you think we being cold? Why you think we being irrational or radicals or whatever? I can show you the scripture where God told Jeremiah, see, you're just not used to the real war. That's all it is. You're not used to real war. Now America is in real war out here. In America. They in real war and you ain't used to it. So then when it comes time to adjust and be the soldier you're supposed to be, you ain't used to it. That's all it is. I can show you right here where Jeremiah was commanded by God. Don't pray for him, don't cry for him, don't pray for him. That's it. You're just not used to a real world like that. Where God is telling you, and don't pray for him. You ain't used to an environment like that. You're not used to dealing with things like that. Being here in America, this has been Mickey Mouse land. Now Mickey Mouse land is gone because we got stinking, corrupt leaders, and now Mickey Mouse land is gone. And now you have to fend for yourself. Now you got to defend yourself. Now you got to realize these Americans are against you. Now it's just like any other country. Persecuting Christians, playing around Christians. It's just like a third world country. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't be a blessed community, but you're playing around God's people. That's a quick way to get you cursed right there, buddy. You want a quick way, instant way to get you cursed as a community? Start playing around Christians. Every community that did it, Egypt, Rome, all are a shell of what they used to be. Rome is a shell. While people boast about what they used to do to Christians, look at Rome now. Rome is a shell of what it used to be. You can't even tell Rome was the country that did all this great stuff no more. They ain't even got no military that they can boast of. Look at it. You don't think that's for persecuting Christians? It was. But listen, Rome is a shell of what it used to be. Egypt too. All that Egypt did. Look at Egypt now. Look at what Egypt did to God's people back in the times of Moses, right? But look at them now. They're a shell of what they used to be. They ain't nothing no more. Rome in Egypt is nothing. And you know, I'm not saying I'm against Egypt, but it's nothing what it used to be. That's all I'm saying. It's not what it used to be. America is going down the same path because you made the same mistake that these other superpowers made back in the day. Rome made the mistake of playing with Christians. Egypt made the mistake of playing with God's people. And look what happened to them. They became a shell of what they used to be. That's what happened to them. And America is no exception to these rules. You're gonna become a shell. I'm telling you as a prophet, you are going to become a shell of what you used to be. Just like Rome and just like Egypt. You're going to become a shell of what you used to be. Okay? You made the same mistake as all these other arrogant countries. It ain't no different. They get so high they think they can play with God's people. That's all it is. It ain't nothing new. The Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. Even though they did a different type of psychological war against Christians, it's nothing new. We're fighting against God's people. Rome did it, and they'll insinuate it, but not want to take what comes with it. They insinuate they doing us like Rome did Christians, but they don't want to take what comes with it. You know what comes with it? You becoming a shell of what you used to be. That's what comes with it. You become a shell of what you used to be, like Rome, like Egypt. You want to be like Egypt and persecute God's people? You got to take what come with it, little buddy. You know what come with it? You becoming a shell of what you used to be. If the world do tarry, you watch, mark my words, America will be just like Rome and Egypt, becoming a shell of what they used to be. Oh yeah. You're going to be just like them. It's already too late. See, all of them, if you was really a well-read person, you wouldn't have made this mistake. No, you wouldn't have. You wouldn't have made this mistake. You wouldn't have made no mistake of playing around Christians and knowing what happened to these other countries and then look at them. And if you were smart, you would have looked at them. Look what happened to them. Rome ain't nothing now. Rome ain't nothing. Only time people think about Rome is the Pope. That's it. That's all they think about Rome with. Egypt, what we think about? We don't think about no leaders. We think about the pyramids. That's all we think about. You don't even think about a leader. Tell me the leader of Egypt in the past 20 years. Tell me a great leader out of Egypt in the past 20 years. All you thinking about is the pyramids. That's it, buddy. They became a shell of what they used to be. America gonna be the same way, buddy. It's over. It's already done. What is done is done. See, sometimes, like in the movie Kill Bill, you know what Bill told his daughter? Sometimes you do stuff and you can't take it back. You can't undo what you've done. You can't undo it. What is done is done. You play with God's people, and now you have to suffer for it. Okay, that's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. We're not playing psychological karate. I told you, I don't care about that stuff. We looking at the real world. We looking at real things. We know it's you, and we never lose anyway, but I'm just saying we don't value that anyway, but we ain't gonna ever lose because that's not us. That's not who we are. So as seconds progress by, it gets revealed as you. Okay, and that's that. See, you the type that want to play psychological hero karate games. And somehow out of that, you think you're some legend or some type of a superhero or villain. Or maybe you think you're a super villain. Whatever the case may be, you didn't live up to that. I'm sorry to tell you. Some would say I lived up to all the hype that people said I was. But I didn't set out to do that. I didn't set out for this persona of some type of a hero or villain. But we God's people, man. We God's real people. So, I hate to be a bearer of bad news, but America is not coming back to anything y'all consider normal. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, buddy. What's going to happen is judgment. It's going to get worse. It's going to escalate. And Trump can't stop it. The Democrats can't stop it. The black folks can't stop it. Hispanic and Latinos, nobody can stop this. I'm sorry to tell you, white folks can't stop it. Nobody can stop it. Karate, Asian karate people for America, kung fu, martial arts people for America, you can't stop this, bro. That's all I'm saying. It's nothing you can do. It's nobody, in other words, it's nobody you can use to stop what's going to happen. And you deserve it. You absolutely deserve this. So that's just what it is. We know our thoughts versus what you try to put in our head. We know it's you, and we guard it towards those things as we talk and as we navigate. And that's just what it is. So this is the end for this community.